It's the Orioles on Masson, and we welcome you back. South side of Chicago, wrapping up the 4-game series against the White Sox. It's the O's and the White Sox. Oriole win, and they'll go 2-2 in this 4-game stand. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. Tough times, particularly on the road, where the Orioles continue to struggle. They are 5-21 now in road games this year. And the problem both on the road and at home has been a mixture of things. Right now, it's the offense that's not there. The Orioles simply are not getting the runs they thought they would get. You take a look at the numbers over the last 8 games. They have scored 2 or fewer in 5 of those 8. The runs per games in that 8-game span is 2.4. Their batting average, a minuscule 208. About the only way they really have scored runs, the home run, 7. That's how they won game 1 here when they hit 3 in 1 game. And the strikeouts continue to pile up, 82 in the last 8. They are now number 1 in the American League in strikeouts. So Jim Palmer, of all the things the Orioles thought they wouldn't have to worry about this year, it's probably scoring runs. And in fact, they do have to worry.
Well, that's a good point, but I think if you go back to last year, and I know, one of the great things about when you have a 7-21 September, you get to turn the page and start anew. Last year they got off to a great start. They were 22-10. Since then, they've won 68 games and lost to 111. That tells me they're not playing baseball. It's not just about the offense, but in the month of September and that one game in October, they were under 3 runs a game. So they're a little bit over that, but recently they're trending back to where they were. So, you got Manny Machado, red hot. You got Adam Jones, who hits well on the road. Scope started to hit a little bit because he had the oblique injury. Trumbo gets hot. He gets 4 hits. And the next thing you know, he's got a knee problem, can't play. He missed a month with the oblique. So they're not full strength. They're not playing up to their capabilities offensively. And then it probably wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference last night because they lost 11-1. But, you like to play in tandem. You need to get good hitting, pitching, and defense. The defense has been a little bit better, but they need to put things together.
And the offense has really struggled. Chris Davis, of course, is struggling mightily. Jim, on the post-game show last night, said about Chris, you've got to make some adjustments. I don't see anything. Jim said he told everybody in spring training. He worked with the hitting coach, Scott Coolbaugh. I asked Scott in spring training, I go, hey, you must have really put a lot of work in. Scott says we didn't work. So Jim said, I don't believe anything. Well, the response today from Scott Coolbaugh and Chris Davis.
When things are obviously not going the way that I want, for that to be called into question by two guys that I have a lot of trust, have a lot of faith in, that I've had a good relationship for a number of years. I hate that that's where we are, but at the end of the day, I know the work that I put in the off season. I know the things that I try to make adjustments on, things that I tried to correct. And it's frustrating for me every day to come in here and not see any return for that. So, it's obviously the way things are going right now. The last thing I want to hear about is someone within our organization questioning my work ethic.
I'm here available every day for any player that wants to work and wants to make any changes they feel are necessary. I think it's up to Chris to decide what he wants. And when he finally realizes, and self-evaluates that, then, all the resources are here. You have Brady Anderson here, myself, Howie Clark. Anybody in this clubhouse is willing to help him. It's a matter of the individual saying to himself, this is what I want to do. So I have suggestions. We all have suggestions. But at the end of the day, the individual has to say to himself that I'm all in.
Yeah, I think, I stand by what I said. I just had a casual conversation because I read an article on January 5 in the Sun paper. Ed Encina wrote, Chris was frustrated. He struck out 73 times looking last year out of, 195 strikeouts. I'm going to make some adjustments. First day of spring training. So I hear you worked a lot. He goes, no, we didn't. So you just heard the hitting instructor, and again, this is not, hey, he said, she said, or, Buck Showalter, who was kind of putting in the middle in the locker room today because he didn't know what I said. This team plays a lot better when Chris Davis plays well. He's not playing up to his capabilities. He's not making a lot of adjustments. That's the point I made. We saw him looking at the third base coach when strike 3 came over. There's something going on. He needs to make some changes. And I tell you what, Scott Kubat, you know, he had him in the minor leagues. He said he was the last guy that would leave the ballpark at night. I think he has to get back. You know, it just doesn't happen at this level. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. So it's not about how much money, how long your contract it is. Are you doing the work to get better? And I think that needs to improve. And I'll stand by that, and I hope he does it, and I hope he has success because he's a better player than he showed.
He'll be in the lineup today as the Orioles try and take 2 out of the 4-game series here against the Chicago White Sox. Dylan Bundy on the mound has got the best ERA going in day games, and that's who the Orioles will be throwing in the ball game today. We'll come back, take a look at the starting lineups and the stories, including the suspension of the starting catcher for the White Sox. Affairs with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, the White Sox have lost their starting catcher, the Orioles catcher last year, Wellington Castillo, suspended 80 games for use of a performance-enhancing drug, something other than a steroid. He admitted the use, and Rick Hahn, the GM of the White Sox, said this today.
He certainly has stood up and accepted responsibility for his actions. Doesn't change the fact that it's disappointing. It's something that in the program with the players being strictly liable for everything they put in their body and the consequences thereof is certainly something Wellington understands, and something as an organization that we support.
Wellington Castillo said this morning the positive test resulted from an extremely poor decision I alone made. I have let many people down, and from my heart I apologize. Following my suspension, I look forward to rejoining my teammates and doing whatever I can to help the White Sox win.
Yeah, and you know, he's a good guy, but he made a mistake, and it really does affect this organization. You know, $15 million investment over 2 years, mainly because they have a young ball club. We've talked about it all 3 games. They're rebuilding, have a young pitching staff. Lucas Giolito is only, what, 23 years old. He would really help this staff, and the only way you can help him is stay on the field, and that's going to be, he's going to be gone for 80 games. It's a tragedy for this franchise.
Take a look at our game time temperature, brought to you by BGE Home. We know more, we do more. This is a summer day here, 81 degrees already, wind blowing off the lake and in from center. Let's take a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. It'll be Mancini, Jones, and Machado, Scope, Davis, and Alvarez, Gentry, Cisco, and Peterson. Manny Machado, take a look at the day game numbers for him this year.
And there he is, Lucas Giolito came over for the Adam Eaton trade. The numbers, as you look, I mean, he's a fastball, slider, changer. He's got all the pitches, curveball, 4 pitches, and you can add 2 fastballs, so 5 the way they move. And you know, he struggled because you look at his numbers, Gary, and in his 4th start here in Chicago, he faced the best team in baseball, Houston, and put 9 runs on the board. So the ERA is inflated. You know, the other numbers aren't that bad. Pretty good numbers. Runners in scoring position, only 4 home runs. You know, he's a guy that had to have Tommy John surgery, so the fastball maybe not 94, 95, 91 to 92, and he mixes up his pitches, and that can be effective.
And the first pitch of this ball game will be tapped to third base. Nice scoop. And the out recorded on Trey Mancini as Sanchez made a nice play.
Well, let's take a look at their defense, and they've been pretty good in this series. And you know, Tilson gets called up because of the injury to Larry Garcia. He has a sprained knee. Engel, big night last night, 4 hits, 2-run home run. Palka's had a nice series. Sanchez just picked it. Anderson back in the lineup. Going to play 3 out of the 4 game on Cotta with a 3-run home run. Abreu is good a hitter, and Norevez and doing the catching, and so they're going to miss Wellington Castillo
big time.
Yeah,
that's a real loss for them.
I mean, Narvaez, he can catch and had good on base percentage, but he does not have the home run power, and he's not doesn't have the experience that Wellington had.
First surprise of the game for me was the Trey Mancini after the first pitch. This is a guy who's walked 34 in 47 innings and struck out 27, tied for first in the most walks. That'll be a broken bat base hit into left center field. Adam Jones continues hot. Tilson getting the start in left, picks it up and gets it back in, and Adam now is 3 for 12 in this 4-game set.
Now over 300 on the road, so here you go. Just a fastball away, and again, he doesn't go to right field, but he pulls it and then finds a gap out there. Tilson came over from the Cardinals. He's been hurt the last 2 years, but called up, having a nice year down at AAA Charlotte. He's a speedster guy.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, well, his team really, it's like a track meet.
They are the fastest team, I got to believe, in baseball as far as the number of players they have who can really fly, both on the base paths and in the field. Here's Manny Machado. Manny's had a couple of hits and 11 at bats in the series. Breaking ball is going to miss outside. Giolito, just if he throws strikes, hitters don't do much, as Jim said. They're hitting .236 against him, but can he throw strikes? 5 wild pitches and 9 hit batters. 9. And this is his 10th start of the season, so he is really all over the place.
A couple of games with 7 walks.
Yep. Can be very troublesome for hitters in a positive way for the pitcher. You just don't know what's coming and where it's going to go.
Well, he does mix up his pitches, and again, I mean, the fact that he can throw a 2-seam fastball, we've already seen the ground ball, so you can get yourself in trouble and then out of it by doing that.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Machado with Jones on at first base. Right-hander's delivery will be taken on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, Alan Porter. He can't do anything about it. That ball's what, a couple inches, maybe almost a ball inside, but they get the strike.
Manny, for the first time this year, has gone hitless in back-to-back games. First time that has happened this season. That's how good he has been. 1-2 count. Jones off first. And a slider. It's going to be way outside.
Yeah, that's one of those wasted pitches. It's a ball out of your hand. I mean, you don't even entice the hitter. Yeah, Manny, second time up in game 1, hit a home run. Orioles would hit 3 solo runs, win 3-2 because the bullpen came in and did a great job. And he's 0 for 9 since then.
2-ball, 2-strike count coming up. Infield shifted around on him. Hit hard into the hole. That's going to be a base hit. He'll take care of that number we were talking about. So Machado's on with a single. Jones goes down to second base. 2 on and 1 away. Manny coming in 4th in batting average. He's tied for 3rd in hits. Now has 3rd place all to himself. He got all of that one. So 1st and 2nd, and they'll look for a ground ball double play defensively. The Orioles will look for an RBI. Jonathan Schoop, 3-game hit streak. Schoop has gone 4 for 12 in this series. Giolito taking a look back at Adam, and the pitch will be on the outside corner for a strike. 3 changes today. Roster moves for the White Sox. Alfredo Gonzalez called up to be the backup catcher today out of Charlotte. Takes the roster spot of Wellington Castillo on that suspension. 0-1 delivery on the way outside, and there's another wild pitch. So 6 wild pitches on the season. If you're on the bases and an Oriole today, be ready.
Well, you need to take advantage. As we showed you in the opening, they're struggling for runs over the last, 7-8 games. So when you miss your catcher, and that's what he did. I mean, he just missed him. He couldn't even get it where he could catch it. Of course, there's already 7 passed balls by Narvaez, so he's not as good as Wellington Castillo. But now a chance for. Don't even have to get a hit to get a run in.
Pitch on the way, infield drawn in. It's a fair ball. They got him trapped. Adam Jones going to the plate. They'll run him back to the bag because there are going to be 2 guys there, so tag them both and see who you get. He may have gotten 2. He did. He was not on the bag. Manny Machado came to third, and I don't think he ever touched the bag. Now, did he get Jones? Maybe not. Almost had a double play on that.
Yeah,
Manny tiptoed into third. He didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, because Adams running back, and Scope is not going down to second, which is usually what you could do if you stay in the rundown long enough. So right there, and I don't guess they said he didn't tag him, but right there he tags Manny, or he actually mauls him. So they call him out right there, and then Adams able, because he was not tagged off the bag, to be out.
Wow, that looked like a double play. The Orioles get a break, I think, on that one. So an unusual situation. Adam Jones, who got caught in the rundown, ends up being the runner who's still at third base. And Jonathan Scope on the fielder's choice is on at first. Now there are 2 down. Well, as they say in this game, you see something new every day. I don't think I've seen that one before, where the runner coming into third base ends up being the out. And the pitch will be taken inside. Here is Chris Davis. Chris trying to get out of an 0 for 18 that he is in right now, dropping that average down to 154. Chris has not had a hit in this series. He's gone 0 for 11. Got runners at first and third, and 2 down, and a big lead at third by Adam Jones. He is well aware of the wild pitches that can be delivered here, and if he gets one, he's going to scoot home.
Yeah, Giolito also has a big curveball, so that's certainly something that comes into play. You don't want to be hanging it. We saw what hanging curveballs did yesterday off Alex Cobb, second time through the lineup. They got massaged all over this ballpark.
2-0 delivery on the way. That's going to miss inside. Alan Porta, despite a couple of calls we've seen early, has historically been an umpire who favors the hitters pretty significantly with a strike zone that is fairly tight. Early on here in the ball game, a couple of calls that seem to go pitcher's way. 3-0 count. Davis with a green light fouls it back.
Good swing there. But got the green light and green lighted the swing. I mean, watch him go through the ball here. So looking at the back of the ball, that's why you're trying to hit. One of the better swings. And again, when you're 0 for 18, he actually 2 nights ago hit some balls right on the nose, but right at people.
Yep. Shift is on in the infield with Moncada way out in right field. 3-1 delivery on the way, and he went around on that one. Tried to hold up, could not. So a full count. 3-2, 2 down, and runners on at first and third.
Obviously, got too far. Yeah, the swing has gotten long. It's always been a little bit long, but it always worked. So that's the adjustment that he's going to have to figure out.
Chris is 265 with runners in scoring position, well above his overall average. 3-2 runner goes from first, and he walked it. So that's the 35th walk in 48 innings, and that puts him number 1 in the American League in walks surrendered. And the Orioles have loaded him up with 2 down.
Yeah, you look at the total base runners, coming in, 34 walks, 41 hits. Well, he only thrown 4 home runs. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, like 1 every 2 innings or so. So you get yourself into trouble before you get to 2 outs. The other team's going to score. And right now you got Alvarez, great fastball hitter. Let's see if he gets a fastball to hit.
2 down, bases are loaded. Big chance for the Orioles. And an off-speed breaking ball ends up inside. I think that actually hit the umpire on the way by and rebounded out Ball got loose. There you see the numbers as we take a look. It's time for Lowe's whole team together. Those are extra base hits. The Orioles, Manny Machado on top, of course, as you would expect. Pedro Alvarez, the DH, has had an 0 for 3 in this series. Breaking ball, another one, same pitch, same result, only that one's up. And the count goes to 2-0.
See, so you can see the scouting report for a young pitcher at 23 coming into play. Stay away from the fastball, back-to-back changeups, back-to-back balls.
Buck doing, yeah, just all over the place as we expected. Buck talking to Manny, I'm sure, about that play at third base. 2-0 count, may get one here. Went with a fastball and missed. So the count's 3-0 with the bases loaded, and you are seeing in the very first inning Giolito's season so far. 3-4, 6.42 ERA. Opponents low batting average, 236, but way too many runners. And a defense that falls asleep behind him because he takes so long. And he walks in with the bases loaded. So the Orioles get the first run in, and we'll get a visit to the mound immediately as the O's take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Don Cooper, and talking to Coop before the game, and Giolito, big tall guy, trying to, alignment is so important. Can you get over your front side? Can you, we always talk about hitting. Bat is A, ball's B. Can you get from A to B? How short can that swing be? Well, if you're pitching, can you find your release point? And obviously, he's really struggled with that. And Gary, if you look at last year, he pitched all year at Charlotte, and when he did come to the big leagues, 3-3 with a very low ERA at 2.38, 12 walks in 45 1/3 innings. This year, a lot of bad weather early on, and so far he's had 2 games with 7 walks. Not to mention the 9 runs he gave up in 2 innings against the Houston Astros.
Well, the Orioles gave him a chance to get out of it with that rundown situation. Here is Gentry. Has not had an at-bat in this 4-game set. Greg will take the slider. It's going to be outside. Gentry getting the start in right field in the ball game today. Trumbo is going to get an MRI on the knee when the Orioles end up in Florida. There you see the numbers. That's how wild he is. Base is full. Slider again is going to miss, and the count goes to 2-0.
And when I first came to the big leagues, I went through this. When you're all over the place, you're not getting any questionable pitches. I mean, that ball is definitely a ball, but again, if you're to the glove, it's all you got to do. Check out the glove by Narvaez today and then see where the pitch goes.
2-0 delivery on the way to Gentry, not even close. Fans already booing. So falls behind here with the sacks full. Scope got the fielder's choice. Davis the walk to Pedro Alvarez, who picked up the RBI. He's got 17 on the year on that bases loaded walk. See if Gentry gets a green light or a take here. The way he's throwing, make him throw.
I would imagine he's taking.
Yeah. 3-0 delivery on the way, and he gets a strike in there and gets a Bronx cheer in Chicago.
Well, the old Davy Johnson, when he used to come in from second base before he became a manager, hey, variable chance deviation, throw it down the middle, hope it won't go there, and maybe you'll get an out. And that's pretty much what you have to do when you're in one of these moments.
Yep. Gentry with a 3-1, and he walks in, and the Orioles lead it 2-0. So 3 consecutive walks, 2 coming with the bases loaded. Greg Gentry will pick up the RBI on this one, and that will be his 6th of the year, and he's walking them in. Orioles get a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, so now what if you're Buck Showalter and you got a young hitter in Chance Cisco, got a base hit last night, only hit 226. Does he get the hit? Or do you let him take a pitch?
Might as well make him throw a strike, I would think. With 2 down, bases remain loaded. Cisco went after it, could not hold up.
And he does. Yeah, the buck on Chance is try to stay up in the zone as Chris Beck. We saw him warm up first 2 games, not last night. Yet to get into one. So he apparently is their long man.
They'd be real long. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and that ball down the line will be foul. They'll bring it back. Orioles this season, they've gone 6 for 26 with the bases loaded. They've picked up Couple of grand slams on the year. Manny Machado has had one. Alvarez has the other. Right now they just want to make a big inning out of this before Giolito's taken out of the game. 0-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be a base hit into left field. Runners going with 2 down. Davis scores. Alvarez will come. Throw to the cutoff man. 2 in, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead. Cisco taking it the other way.
That's what he did last night. You know, you think when he finally gets ahead into 1-2, he's going to throw him a breaking ball. That's what they've been doing, and then nope, they come back with a fastball. Good inside out swing, doesn't do too much. Stays inside it, bat head to the ball, and you got yourself another 2 runs.
13 RBIs for Chance Cisco in this his 34th game. And the Orioles have batted around. Here is Jace Peterson. First and second now for the O's. Peterson will take it. Boy, you go back to that rundown and the chance the White Sox had to get a double play and didn't. It could have changed this whole inning around. And the Orioles have taken full advantage. The door was left open, and the Orioles have gone after it. 4 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks. That will be in there for a strike.
Yeah, we saw Buck Showalter go over and talk to Manny Machado. I'm sure he told him to see run all the way to the bag. Because that way they only get 1 out. Because of what it turned out, if Narvaez had actually tagged him and then Manny doesn't get to the bag, which is what happened, you would have got the double play that you talked about.
1-1 delivery on the way inside.
And those are, you know, the Orioles are so good at trying to kind of figure out things that are going to happen in spring training, so you're ready for that. But that's not probably something they went over.
That's not one.
I know. I'm not saying that to be
no,
funny.
I know.
Yeah.
It's one you wouldn't guess happening, really. 2 ball 1 strike count. Giolito's pitch popped up in the air. High sky, wind blowing in, lots of sun. Engel in center field will put it away, but the Orioles have a very successful first inning. They will pick up the 4 runs, 3 singles, 3 walks. Nothing lead. White Sox coming to the plate. They will have Moncada, Sanchez, and Abreu. Palka, Rondon, Neves, Anderson, Tilson for a start, and Engel. And Engel in that 9 spot has been very productive.
And Dylan Bundy, thank you very much for those 4 runs. Now I will come out and try to get him out. A lot of fastballs. We circled the slider because against the righties, and you know it's a devastating pitch. He's got the curveball, 2-seamer, very low average on that. You made a great point in the opening. I mean, he's only given up 2 runs in 25 2/3 innings in the day. So they present him with a 4-run gift. Now he's got to get people out.
Going after victory number 3 in the year if he can get it. Moncada will lead it off and will take the pitch away. Their second baseman, 3 for 12 in the series, a homer, 4 RBIs. That's resulted in a 3-game hit streak, average up to 262.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We see him in the first 2 games, and every time you throw him a fastball, he hit a line drive or have a good swing. Yeah. Gosman had a great splitter, struck out 10. Didn't look too good. There's a fastball right down the middle. Yesterday, great curveball strikeout. You hang one, he hits a 3-run home run, and it turned the game around for the White Sox.
That was the big blow, and Moncada got it.
Much better hitter from this side of the plate.
Orioles go into the full shift on him based on the count. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be inside. For Dylan Bundy against the White Sox, his 4th career start, 5th appearance. He's 3-0 with a 4.26 against the White Sox, including 2-0 here in this ballpark. ERA 4.9 in the games pitched here. Moncada will fight it off and stay alive. So the Orioles coming in 15-34, 19 games out. The White Sox are 15-31. They are 8.5 out in their division. White Sox have been playing some better baseball of late. That'll be off the fist, foul back. So Moncada making Bundy work. First time he has faced the Orioles starter.
Yeah, I think he'd like to get it over with right here. 2-2. You don't want to be going 3-2. Have to take a little bit off with a 4-run lead. Make your pitch right here at the 2-2 count.
Moncada does go after it, and he got him.
He has a good curveball. He really doesn't use it that much, but there's one, and this is pretty much, if you look at our Mercedes pitchcast, this is the curveball that Cobb threw Moncada the first time. Now the next time he'd hang it, and he pulverized it to right center field. So great pitch.
Bundy with a strikeout. He's got 64 in 54 innings. Sanchez a 4-game hit streak. He's had a very good series against the Orioles with the 5 for 15 and a couple RBIs, and he's played a very fine defensive third base for the White Sox.
He has really done a nice job. Speedster. Doesn't steal a lot of bases, but he can run.
0-1 popped up, the angle on it. Machado or Mancini. Mancini in foul territory, and a nice catch.
No, he
dropped it. He slid and tried to hang on as he went down and couldn't do it.
Well, you're on the south side of Chicago, Wrigley Field, with all the wind, small park, Larry Day, very much like Oakland. And again, that's a ball that he usually catches. Again, you better really help each other out today, because the wind is gusting, blowing straight in.
Yep, right in from center.
It's the last time, and we saw with Giolito, that you want to walk 3 guys in the first inning. I mean, really, this is where you want to be able to pitch to contact. He couldn't do it.
Bundy's delivery over the top, swung on, miss, drop. Play's got to be made. Cisco gets it down there, and a good play by Chris Davis.
The speed factor, we were talking about how fast a team they are. Another really good curveball. So back-to-back strikeouts on the same pitch, and then look at this hustle. They're very much like the Twins. The Twins, it's like a track meet, especially if Byron Buxton, their center fielder, is playing.
So a couple of strikeouts to start the game. Cisco getting himself set up to make the play. And here is Abreu, their leader offensively. He's gone 6 for 9 lifetime against Dylan Bundy, including 1 home run. So he's had about as good a numbers against Bundy in limited at bats as anybody in the American League. 2 down, nobody on. Abreu will take it up and in off the glove. Abreu comes into the day with the 3rd highest batting average for this month at .367. He also has moved into the top spot. 2 down runners in scoring position. He's hitting an amazing .545 in the year. Bundy's pitch in the air to center. That wind's going to hold it up a little bit. Adam will move over and in, and he will put it away, and Bundy does exactly what you want to do. The club gave him 4 runs in the top half. He retires the side in order in the bottom. 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play Home Run Rich's Scratch House, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home run. And Karen, good luck. Orioles have been hitting some home runs, 32 prior to this month, and they've had 28 and 21 games so far in May, upped it by about a half a home run a game. Pitch is taken for a strike on the inside corner, back to where we started, as Trey Mancini went after the first pitch he saw and grounded out.
Kind of a nightmare when you start the first inning and then you're facing the same guy you started in the first and the second.
Not good.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you're lucky. I mean, if you're still in the game, to be quite honest. And
Giolito is. Jones and then Manny Machado will be coming up. First start against the Orioles, only the second time he's pitched against an American League East team. Good off-speed breaking ball and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The right-handers hitting 222 against him, left-handers 250. 4 home runs in the 9 games he's started, 2 from each side. Giolito's pitch will be outside. Evens the count up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And they got him for Adam Eaton, and Adam Eaton, of course, the Nationals needed a center fielder. He was signed long term, very reasonable. So you're trying to rebuild, get a young pitcher that hopefully will learn how to pitch and command his stuff.
That's why you leave him in, and the leash is not too tight. You want to see what he's got, and you want him to learn how to work through situations while not surrendering the ball game.
Right, it's the only way to learn how to pitch. Now, you'd like to have thought he did that at AAA, and he did.
And came in hard on Trey, fouled off, full count, 3-2.
But just imagine, you're 23 years old, you're former #1 draft choice. You're given the opportunity. You've already walked 3. You've given up 3 hits. You're down 4-0, and now once again, you got a 3-2 count.
Pressure.
Yep. Yeah, grip pressure. Yeah, grip pressure does.
3-2 delivery.
But again, he'll throw any of his pitches. From what I saw in some of the games that I watched him pitch, he's fearless as far as what he'll throw. Now, maybe that's why maybe the walks are up.
He'll do the 3-2 again here. 23-year-old Giolito's delivery, and that's tagged. He got it down the line in left field, and goodbye, home run over the left field wall. 330 away rather, and for Trey Mancini, works the count to 3-2, and the Orioles have a 5-0 lead.
Well, you made a statement that very rarely does the swing at the first pitch, and the first pitch he grounded to third. And this time he almost hit an identical pitch. Of course, he got to see, what, 7 pitches in this at bat. So the exit velocity 104, winds are blowing in, a gale. About the only way to hit it out here is hit it on the line and pull it. And that's exactly what he did.
Perfectly done in that regard. 7th home run and his 17th RBI. And Trey Mancini adds 1 on the board. That's the 2nd he has hit in this ballpark in his career, and the 3rd lifetime against the White Sox. The Orioles lead it 5-0. Pitch is going to be taken inside. Adam Jones, a base hit and a run scored in the 1st inning.
Yeah, and if you look at Giolito, you got to throw a strike. You don't want to walk your 4th guy. And Mancini, who had 24 home runs, as you mentioned, hits number 7.
And Adam Jones whacks one. That's into right center field. Going back, Engel looking up. He jumps and made the catch. No, goodbye home run. It cleared. Engel got up there and just over his outstretched glove. The Orioles get back-to-back home runs, as Adam Jones will bring it in his 9th of the year and his 25th RBI.
Yeah, and you're wondering if he hurt himself. It looked like he hit the post, or maybe he lost his glove. So there's the hat. I mean, this ball is whacked because, I mean, the wind's blowing across from left to right. So there goes the glove. I think the glove went on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, they're sending security people down to get it.
Yeah, he's a very good center fielder, very athletic. We saw last night, home run, 4 hits. Did everything he could to catch that ball. Didn't get the ball, nor the glove.
So the Orioles with back-to-back. Karen Jordan, our Maryland Lottery contestant. Hey, what an inning. $500 for each of those home runs. And with Giolito, just nothing so far in this game. I mean, they're all over them.
Yeah, well, when you walk people, they score because you give up some singles, and when you throw strikes, they hit home runs.
So the Orioles go back-to-back.
Well, I want to know where his glove went. They just came out and brought him another glove.
Yeah. They sent people down there. I saw security people going down trying to get it.
Well, is that a picnic area out there? I know.
No, it looks like it's just an empty area.
Well, there's people just kind of walking around, and just get the glove and throw it back over the fence. Chris Beck again getting loose. It's been a series of warming up.
He's thrown more pitches than their starters. Ball put up in the air to center with a new glove. Engel off the bat of Machado, and the wind, look at it blow it in. And he will put it away for the first out of the inning. The Orioles are going to host the Nationals May 28th through 30. Kickoff summer. Special 105 Memorial Day matchup. That's Monday. All fans receive an Orioles Memorial Day t-shirt. And on Wednesday, first 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Orioles Cooler Backpack presented by Visit Sarasota. Tickets at Orioles.com. So one away. The balls and gloves flying all over the place in this one. And here is Jonathan Schoop, fielder's choice, and scored in the second inning. So the Orioles doing what they need to do to win, and that's hit home runs. And the pitch slider will be taken away. Orioles now with the 4 runs they got in the first inning have been outscored 60-23 in the first, but 4 added here in this one. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that one is whacked. That's deep to left field, and that's going to be gone. Goodbye home run. No, foul ball. Wow. I thought he had that. And Scopey looking back like, where'd that go?
Yeah, hit one up in Boston, and you think this ball's going to stay fair, and then it just hooks foul. I mean, that ball was drilled.
Just missed.
Not missing too many bats. And when he does, they go down to first.
Yeah. 2-1 delivery on the way. Schoop with a big cop that followed right straight back. Schoop was in his home run trot there halfway down first when the signal came. And again, that's that wind that's blowing in. Even on that ball, which was more of a line drive, just kind of pushed it. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Way up high.
Yeah, I think you really, and I know Don Cooper, who's been a terrific pitching coach here in Chicago. You got to know your kids here, because you want them. You want to leave them out there. I mean, I gave up early runs. You want to stay out there because you want your ERA to come down a little bit. Of course, the only way you can do that is get people out, and you got to find out, is this going to hurt him? Not physically, it's not probably a problem unless he throws too many pitches. He's already up at about what, 81. But how about the emotional part of it? That's the decision you have to make as a pitching coach.
Yeah. At some point it gets a point of no return. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be into right field. That's headed to the line, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Schoop on with a single. Beck is ready to go in the bullpen. They want to go there. Fans certainly want the White Sox to, but no movement. So Schoop on 2 home runs and a single. The 4 batters up for the Orioles here in the second. The back-to-back home runs, the Orioles have now done that 4 times this season. The Orioles using it to build up this big 6-0 lead early in the ball game. Chris Davis, a walk. He scored his first time up. That's way inside. Narvaez going down with a scoop of the glove on the backhand that time. Manny Machado, Jonathan Schoop have homered back-to-back before. Danny Valencia and Joey Rickert have done it back-to-back, and Mancini and Jones have done it here in this ball game. 1-0 delivery, tailed away, and gets a swinging strike. Chris Davis, 1-1.
Wow.
Wow. That one way inside
I
hitting.
think it hit him. Yeah.
So Davis will go down on a hit pitch, and you got to stop the blood here.
Well, here comes Rick Renneria. He has no choice. And, you know, such a fine line. You want to give him a long leash, and he certainly does that. But you also, after scoring 11 runs yesterday, even though Bundy's a pretty formidable opponent, you want to stay in the game.
You're as good as your next day's starting pitcher, says Buck Showalter.
Couple of runs on to his credit on the bases as Chris Beck will come on. That's your Jiffy Lube pitching change. A regular oil changes at Jiffy Lube will help your vehicle's engine run cleaner and longer. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. So Chris Beck, you know, he's actually pitched pretty well. His last appearance, and it looks like he's going to have to try to do today, 3 2/3 innings in relief in Pittsburgh. So he throws up, you know, mid 90s, 93 to 95, slider, changeup. Pretty good numbers across the board. So a chance to, you know, get him some outs.
Beck has got runners on at first and second base. Pedro Alvarez will face him. Pedro drew a bases loaded walk in the first inning. 2 on 1 out. And the pitch will be outside for a ball. Beck's 5th career game against the Orioles. One of them came as a starter. Orioles have touched him up for 4 runs on 12 hits in 10 2/3 innings worked. 1-0 count. And that's going to miss. 2-0. Orioles have Jonathan Scope with a base hit on its second. Davis pick up the walk. He's on at first. The old difference a day makes. 11-1. White Sox won last night. Ball put up in the air to third. Shallow left. Wind will blow it. Angle. Nice play made by Sanchez. He goes to second, but back in time is Jonathan Scope. Calling all tweeters, Snapchatters, and Instagrammers, join us for the Birdland social event of the season on Tuesday, June 26th. It'll be the social event number 1. Starts at 7:00, the 7:05 game against the Mariners. Prior to that, you'll have an opportunity with the special ticket packages to an exclusive pregame party on the center field roof deck. Richard Blyer will be there. You'll get the emoji t-shirt, a Q&A with the Orioles pitcher, and for tickets go to Orioles.com/BirdlandSocial. 2 down, 2 on. Gentry. Edra will walk his first time up. Beck's delivery to him will be a slider down low and did not go around.
Yeah, Chris Beck, a second rounder. I mean, had very much like Nate Jones, he had the ulnar nerve. They call it a transposition where they take it out of that groove. So he had to go through that, but starter all the way through the minor leagues and now out of the bullpen.
Went to college at Georgia Southern, played baseball there. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's going to be way outside. Gentry watches it go by, and he'll get ahead on the count again. 2-0. Beck had an ERA of 6.4 last year in the 57 games he pitched in. A lot of hits, 73 hits in 64 innings. He walked 34, struck out 42. Not a very good ratio. 2-0 count on Gentry. Scope and Davis get the leads. Pitch will be taken up high.
Well, you can see it's not about velocity. 96 average fastball this year, 94.5. So you try to throw harder and you try to do it with your body. You just kind of, you can watch him jerk his head. And that gets you going left in a hurry.
3-0 and he walked him on 4 straight.
I mean, your lines are so important. If you're hitting, you got to stay through the ball, and if you're pitching, can you keep your front shoulder in long enough? It always gets out of the way, and if it flies open, your arm drags. It's hard to throw the pitches you want. I still remember Catfish Hunter, one of the great right-handers. The late Catfish Hunter used to put his hat on, hardly on his head at all when he did his sides, because if he jerked his head, it would fall off. And that's how he did his work.
That'll get the attention of Cisco up around the chin. Well, they told us when the White Sox people said, you're going to be here a long time today. They weren't kidding. They were basing it on the starter, Giolito. But apparently this is a day where White Sox pitchers are going to have trouble with the strike zone. The Orioles will take it. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's going to be down low.
Now, you're not getting from Alan Porter any borderline pitches. As you said, he's a very fair umpire. It looks like he's making the pitchers throw the ball over. And to be quite honest, we really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to throw enough strikes to get balls, but you got to get a hit. And
back again. So
ideally, you'd like to have that umpire give you that pitch an inch low or an inch off the corner, in or out, or whatever the case, or an inch up in the zone. Alan Porter is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Make it fair for both the hitters and the pitchers.
So Cisco's been up twice, and both times with the bases loaded. First inning, he got a 2 RBI single, bases loaded again, 2 down, just like the first. Beck's pitch is going to be inside. He too is all over the place.
Yep. Well, you get behind 2-1. You've already, if you're paying attention, you've already seen Cisco take that fastball inside out. You saw him take a fastball away yesterday, so you try to make the perfect pitch, pull it off the plate. Now it's even a better hitting count.
3-1 delivery on the way to him. Cisco will foul it back hard.
Yeah.
3-2.
That's ball
rip.
4 right there. Yep. Looking fastball, getting it, but swung at a ball up in the zone. Hard to do anything with it other than foul it off. Of course, it's still 96.
White Sox, the Orioles rather, who had scored 18 runs in the last 9 games. 18 and 9, already have 6. And we're in the 2nd inning. 3-2, 2 down. Runners on every base. Runners go. Do it again.
Yeah, there's a pretty good pitch, 3-2. Well, they know Dylan Bundy's pitching. And, all the guys, not, I mean, the last 2 years over 6 runs a game, but 2 starts ago they got him 17 runs. So hey, he pitches well in the daytime. Why not get an early lead? Giolito certainly helped that, and keep adding.
Yep. Long way to go in the ball game. Get some more runs up. 3-ball 2-strike count coming again. Cisco will take it, and another run. That's the 3rd run the Orioles have scored today on a bases loaded walk, and a 3 RBI ball game in 2 innings for Chance Cisco. So the Orioles score as Jonathan Scope will cross. He reached on a single. Everybody move up. Davis to 3rd. Gentry goes to 2nd. Cisco at 1st with the RBI. And 2 walks surrendered by Beck.
Yeah, Jace Peterson with the only RBI last night, hit a single up the middle. Orioles actually led that game 1-0 last night.
Peterson gets a shot with the bases loaded. The Orioles have batted around in each of the first 2 innings. Peterson flied out to center field to end inning number 1. The starter Giolito still responsible. Davis at 3rd. Pitch drops in for a strike.
Yeah, good breaking ball. In fact, 2 in a row. Well, when you're wild with your fastball, it really doesn't matter what the velocity is. Try something else. Nice little adjustment there. Gets him where you want to be in the count.
So far, a 3-1-3 run second inning. Jace Peterson 0-2 takes it outside.
Yeah,
Naviez gets it.
Yeah, even his changeup is at 91.
A good crowd on here. Sun-drenched day in the breeze after the very cold weather at the start of the series. 1-2. Peterson will take it inside, cuts in. The White Sox, as far as their bullpen is concerned on the year, 9th in ERA. They are also 13th in walks. They average almost 4 walks per 9 innings pitched by the bullpen. 2-2 delivery, swinging foul ball, 2-2.
Yeah, that's a I get to hit again type of swing. Pretty good breaking ball and just able to tick it. Keep the bat alive.
Jace Peterson down at third base with the start today with the right-hander going. Two delivery on the way. And again.
Wow. 3-2.
Again.
You get ahead quickly and then you try to make the perfect pitch. And now all of a sudden got to throw a strike. Ron Cooper's going, wow. Not again.
Yeah. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat to Peterson. Davis, Gentry, Cisco, their leads. In the air, not deep, center field. Engel has it lined up and will put it away. Almost identical innings. Back-to-back home runs, Mancini and Jones. RBI and a bases loaded walk. The Orioles will add 3 more and lead 7-0. Hank Bauer. Our hats off to heroes. He managed the Orioles 1966, joined the Marines in 1942 after Pearl Harbor, 3 years in World War II in the South Pacific. Came back with 11 campaign ribbons, 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, and 24 attacks of malaria. Jim Palmer knew Hank Bauer.
Well, he's my first manager, and you know, he managed the first World Series team. One of the great Yankees, played on 5 consecutive World Championships. He was Casey Stengel, one of the first, you know, managers that platoon. Gene Woodling, who was our batting instructor, and then Hank. They would play left field, and he was a player's manager. I mean, he just he let you play. You know, just throw the ball, hit the ball.
With some Marine intonations.
Exactly. Yeah, he.
Here's Palka leading it off. Daniel Palka will take the pitch from Bundy inside, and now Bundy's behind.
Well, yeah, again, a lot of long innings, and
the Orioles have sent 18 batters to the plate in the first 2 innings. So far, the White Sox have had 4. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Pelga's got a 5-game hit streak going. He's had a good series, 4 for 12, picking up 1 RBI. Most of these hitters have not been up against the Orioles starter before because there's so many young White Sox players out there.
Well, you're looking to get better and younger, and Pelka fits into that scheme for Rick Hahn, who's the general manager. Kenny Williams, he's been here forever, I think 38 years, and former GM, now kind of running the baseball operations. But they got him on waivers.
In the air to center, battling the wind. Adam Jones has room and puts it away.
Probably a home run, one of those fly balls if the wind's not gusting against it. But that's how you pitch with 7-0, 3-2. You don't want to walk anybody. I'm still amazed at the home run that Adam Jones hit the right center field with the wind, because it's blowing pretty much in down the lines, especially the left field. Maybe you could sneak one as Mancini did, but straight away, that's a blast.
Here is Rondon. Rondon getting the start today. He is the designated hitter. Told you the White Sox have had to make some changes in their rosters today, with Garcia going down in the ball game last night, as he's now got a bad knee.
Yeah, he got a sprained knee on that slide into third.
Yeah. So they're one of their regular outfielders, who is substituting for another injured player, is out. Swing and a miss. Ball got dropped a bit. Play will be made to first for the out. Rondon retired. 2 strikeouts for Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, so Dylan pretty diligent about his work ethic and preparation. He saw the home run, Rondon's first major league home run, fastball, hit it down the right field. Looked bad on the breaking ball last night. Strikes him out on the breaking ball. In fact, all 3 strikeouts in his first 5 batters, becoming either curveballs or sliders.
Omar Narvaez doing the catching, with Wellington Castillo going on the 80-day suspended list. So the young catcher, 26 years old, out of Venezuela, now lives in Florida. First major league action 2016, and then last year spent the year with the White Sox. Played in 90 games, had a very good 277 batting average, a couple of home runs, 14 RBIs for him.
Yeah, check out the on-base percentage. It's like 370. But see the difference with Wellington Castillo, more experience, right-handed hitter, coming off a 20 home run year, so it's so disappointing for them. Much more experience to help the young staff. So it's not that Narvaez can't catch, because he can, but not the same.
Not the same.
No. And you want to move forward as an organization. We've seen that with Wellington not running out when he popped up with the time run at third, winning run or go ahead run at second. They benched him and came back, got 3 hits the next night. So they know where they want to go.
Pitch on the way will be fouled back. They are struggling in the catching department now. Narvaez, who's up here, hasn't hit very much or played much. Their top catcher at AAA at Charlotte, Kevin Smith, is on the disabled list with an ankle problem, so that's why Alfredo Gonzalez got called up. He was the backup catcher at AAA. Wasn't even on the 40-man until today. And the strikeout recorded, so Bundy's retired the first 6 in a row. Here's our Ram do-up: Mancini, Jones, and Machado. make today the day. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you here in Chicago as the Orioles trying to split this 4-game set before moving on to Tampa, where they will play 3 to round out this road trip. And who's going to pitch there? Well, good luck. The announced pitchers for tomorrow night, there aren't any. Andrew Kashner, Kevin Gausman in games 2 and 3, while Tampa Bay has not announced any of their starters yet for any of the 3 games.
Well, if Trumbo was in the lineup, it would be Romo.
Exactly.
Well, maybe not Blake Snell. I don't know if he's pitching tonight or whatever, but yeah, you don't need to have somebody pitch the first inning for him. I would imagine it's going to be David Hess.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the pitch will be taken up high. Just the official announcement not made on Hess yet for the Orioles.
Yeah, I said,
hey, Trey Mancini's leading off.
Again.
3 innings, 3 leadoffs.
Well, what do we say? You usually only lead off once. Even if you lead off the game, you only lead off one time. You know, leading off an inning, not today.
Taken away, Beck. He picked up the home run, his 7th of the year, leading off the 2nd inning, grounded out. Lucas Giolito, the White Sox starter, 7 runs, 6 hits, an inning and a third. He walked 4 and did not strike any out. 3 of the 4 scored, and here's another walk.
Well, it's a walkathon.
It is a walkathon. I hope somebody's donating money for walks. Let's take a look at our AT&T achieving more.
Yeah, we told you. I mean, Adam, and then of course he gets a single the first time, center field or left center field, and then the home run into the wind. I don't know how he did that, but he did. So that's entering today. So the average has gone up. Home runs are now 5 on the road.
Chris Beck has walked 3 very early on here. So Beck, in the 17 innings that he has worked, continues to put people on to his demise with these free passes. That's 11 walks he's given up in 17 innings and misses that one, and will have a conference on the mound. Adam Jones, here's the dinger Jim was talking about, 2nd inning.
Yeah, Mancini had already hit one, and I mean, he just wallops this ball to right center field. This is into the wind, folks. And that angle, and I mean, great effort. Very athletic center fielder, but doesn't get the ball, doesn't get his glove. Had to get a new glove as that glove disappeared with the ball over the wall.
Orioles runner at first. Jones taking all the way, and that will be in there for a strike. Adam with that home run RBI, increasing his output over 270 now lifetime against the White Sox. Orioles will have Manny Machado waiting on deck. Back out of the bullpen, 1-1. Set up away and foul tipped. White Sox coming in at won 5 of their last 7. The 11 runs they put up a season high here at home last night, and that 10-run margin, 11-1 win, their largest margin of the season. And you come right back the next day and the baseball gods say, hang on, and it's 7-0 Orioles in the 3rd inning. One-two delivery to Adam. That'll bounce away. Runner stays. Ball stayed out in front.
Yeah, both of these teams, obviously the records, as you mentioned, you know, the Orioles at 15-34, and then the White Sox at 15-31. But team ERAs are 5 runs a game for the White Sox and 5.13 for the Orioles. That was certainly enhanced to the wrong direction last night by giving up 11.
Yeah. 2-2. And hey, it's 3-2.
Yeah, this is not about stuff, folks. This is about total lack of command. Don Cooper looking on. It's not what we talked about in spring training.
We didn't practice this.
No, it's not. Yeah, not our sides. This is not just walking, everybody.
3-2. Runner not going at first. That's going to be a base hit into left field. So Adam continues hot. Stopping at second base is Mancini. Adam picks up the 3-for-3 ball game in the first 3 innings in his first 3 at bats. A single, a homer, and another single. And the Orioles get the first 2 on again.
Well, he gets the breaking ball over it because it's 3-2, and you've already walked the first hitter. It's not, the quality's not the same. And add them all over it. You're liking to think, well, okay, if we can put 10, 12, 13 runs on the board by the middle innings, you can get Adam a day off. Rickard can come in, Jeffrey can move to center field, and Bundy can do his thing, and you can win and get on the plane and go to Tampa.
That ball's going to be a base hit center field. Manny Machado up with that angle. They're going to wave him home. Throw is going to be down the line, sliding in with that hand slide. Trey Mancini. Orioles add another. So Manny Machado's 2 for 3 in the ball game. Manny picks up the RBI, and the Orioles have an 8-0 lead.
Yeah, Engel comes in, the ball tails again. You're throwing it right, with the wind, and Bobby Dickerson says, "Okay, let's see if you can throw him out." I mean, down the middle. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you're struggling with your command. Nice play here. Throw just tails enough, or otherwise, it would have been very close at the plate.
That's Manny's 44th RBI. He is the leader in the American League in runs batted in over J.D. Martinez of Boston, who's got 41. Jonathan Scope. He's already scored twice. Fielder's choice in the first inning. His base hit in the second extended his hit streak to 4 ball games. The Orioles now with the 8 runs on 8 hits.
It doesn't look like the Cubs had scored 6 runs in the first 3 games in this series, even though they did win the first one 3-2.
Chris Beck 0-1. Foul tipped. 0-2 the count. Jonathan Scope looking to use this series, get back on track hit wise. He's had 5 hits now and 14 at bats in the series. The 0-2 he started. Did he go? Yep.
Wow.
Jeremy Reback at first base. Jonathan didn't think so, and Beck gets a strikeout.
Yeah, I'm sure they're thinking, hey, I don't care, and then we'll take a look right here. And nope, he didn't even come close to swinging.
Nope.
Yeah, Rehack, well, Trumbo got thrown out on the first night because he thought he swung at a pitch. He actually said, I think I did, but it was more like the 3-2 pitch he called with the bases loaded, that he struck out on. So young umpire, they don't agree with him.
So Chris Davis hit by a pitch his last time up in the foot. Takes the pitch inside for a ball. He's drawn 2 walks in the ball game and scored on one of them. Orioles 9 up in each of the first 2. 5th batter up in this inning.
Look at the hands on the shoulder. So a little bit of a change right there. Good change up there as he chases it. So
very relaxed.
We were talking, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's talking about how critical I was, or harsh, or actually, I guess somebody else described it. Frank, he wants to get better. I want him to get better. So does his hitting and catching. How about his teammates and fans? That's what it's all about. Trying to find a happy place with your swing. And we've seen him do it. He's young, certainly physically capable of doing it.
1-1 delivery. That'll be fouled away. Orioles here in this ball game already have had, this will be the 8th chance with a runner in scoring position. They are 2 for 7 in that department so far. They've already picked up as many hits with a runner in scoring position in this game as they did in the first 3. They were 2 for 18 in the first 3 games of this 4-game set. Davis now with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Jones off second base, Manny off first, and he did go around. He's not going to argue that one.
Well, like I said about Chris Beck, it's not about the stuff. It's about, do I have to throw a strike? What's the count? How many pitches I get to see? This is a good curveball. And again, even when you're hot, you may not hit that hook.
So 2 down, 2 strikeouts. Pedro Alvarez, the DH. He has one of the 3 bases loaded walks the Orioles have in the game, and he's also popped out. Alvarez going to get more time in the DH role, probably, with Mark Trumbo scheduled to have an MRI when they get to St. Pete to see how that knee is. And Darren O'Day is probably going to get an injection into that elbow that's bothering him, the hyperextended elbow, as he could not get his work in yesterday. Scheduled to throw some and couldn't do it, so that's more serious than they thought.
Yeah, he said a couple days ago when he threw, felt good. Next day it hurt putting his shirt on. So again, not healing as quickly. Tom Wilhelmsen apparently hyperextended his. Took him about a month. So he's disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and he's such an important, integral part of this bullpen because you can get righties and lefties out. He can pitch multiple innings. Veteran voice out there.
1-1 delivery on the way is a strike. So the Orioles short benching it here in this ball game. With the backup catcher in Susac, they've got Danny Valencia, who's available, come off the bench. They are limited to just a 3-man bench here in this ball game. 1-2. And the breaking ball is going to be taken down low. So the pitch counts continue to pile up here for Beck. He does have 2 down. Leadoff walk scored. Orioles have picked up 7 walks in the first 3 innings of this ball game. Joey Ricker, by the way, the other bench player, the outfielder, of course. 2-2. Stepping off is Chris Beck. Jones Machado, second and first. Not even going to say it. Don't know which we've had more of, 3-2 counts or walks, but they got to be pretty close. Alvarez with a shift on in the infield. 3-2 delivery, runners go, and that's going to be a base hit. Adam Jones will come around to score. Manny's on his way to third, and on the 3-2 count, Alvarez picks up his second RBI of the game with a base hit, and the Orioles have a 9-0 lead.
Yeah, once again you get to the deep count. You get to see a bunch of pitches, and then the scouting report is don't throw him a fastball. He throws him a changeup. It's just up enough, and then it becomes very hittable. Pedro Alvarez is very strong. So there's your changeup. He goes out and gets it. Speed, the changeup probably what, about 7 miles per hour slower than the fastball, and Beck's going, I thought somebody was going to catch that. It almost looked like Anderson got fooled a little bit. Tim Anderson, the shortstop, playing up the middle on the shift.
I thought he had a chance on that too, but really didn't get close
it's a
at
warm
all.
day, and it's 81 degrees. There are a lot of white shirts. A lot of times infielders will tell you coming out of the stands, day games, they don't pick the ball up as well.
So the Orioles keep it going. Conga line moves on. Gentry coming up. He has drawn 2 walks in the game, including a bases loaded walk. Alvarez is on at first base. Now has 18 RBIs on the season, 2 of them here today. 7th man to bat for the Orioles in the 3rd. Gentry, a slow roller, foul. .100 pitches have now been thrown by the 2 White Sox pitchers in 2 2/3 innings. Giolito taken out of there after an inning and a third. And Beck not having much better luck. 1-0. Gentry goes to the middle. That will be handled by Anderson on the big hop. He'll go to the bag and get the force out on Alvarez. But the Orioles will add another 2 as the offense rolling along here in this one in a 9-0 lead. Permeating following the June 16 game against the Marlins. Purchase the ticket package, get a ticket to the game, post-game yoga session on the field conducted by Baltimore's own Holistic Life Foundation, and an exclusive Orioles yoga mat. Ticket packages exclusively available at Orioles.com/yoga. So the Orioles up by a score of 9-0 as Dylan Bundy spent a lot of time watching his teammates score runs for him. Is back out there. He's retired the first 6 that he has faced.
Yeah, and what you do is you get 9 warm-up pitches. You get out there in a hurry, try to get a few extra and make them count.
Pitch will be taken inside. Anderson, a hit, 6 at bats here in this series. Tilson and then Engel, bottom third of the order coming up. And Bundy on the off-speed delivery had him way out in front, and it is fouled away.
A nice article about Tim Anderson about again, work ethic and trying to be better than he was. 17 home runs last year. Looks like he's on a pace to hit that. Steal bases at will.
And a great pitch outside. He goes after it.
Well, if you don't get Dylan Bundy till he gets to the slider, if you're a right-handed hitter, you're in trouble, and this is why right here. I mean, perfect slider, young hitter. Started right off the outside corner. It appears like it's going to be a fastball, and it dives away from him.
So Charlie Tilson just called up from Charlotte. Will get an at-bat. 25-year-old. He was hitting .248 in 39 games at AAA. Because of all the outfield injuries they have had, he gets the call up. He missed the entire year with his right foot stress problem. Made his major league debut in August of 16 with the White Sox. Line drive second, scope, and he's out of there.
Yeah, Beebe having a real good year, and then again, I mean, ran into the fence once and then didn't play at all last year because of that foot injury. So he comes up, hits a P, but again, when it's scoreboard tells you it's 9-0, you're pitching to contact. To me, that's I remember the late Mike Flanagan used to say that's an information pitch. I know this kid can hit the heater, so now when I need to get him out, I know I can't stay in that area. And the cushion of a 9-run lead helps you relax a little bit.
Well, here's their center fielder who bats ninth, who's had a heck of a series. 5 for 10 with a home run. He's picked up a couple of RBIs. Breaking ball is going to miss outside. So Adam Engel, if Bundy can get him, Bundy will go through the lineup the first time without having a base runner on against him.
He went up 29 points on his batting average in one day. When you're hitting 183 and you go 4 for 4, that average zooms.
Yeah, Engel's been impressive in making adjustments here in the series itself. Willing to cut down on that swing a little bit, go the other way. Bundy with a 1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss again. Cisco will make the throw down to Davis, and that is strikeout number 5 and 9 in a row, set down by Dylan Bundy. Win here, and the Orioles go 2-2 against the White Sox. They're up Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Oh, we mentioned pretty good brunch. We mentioned the Orioles have scored 3 runs in this game on walks. The last time the Orioles did that, you got to go back to May of 1992. And in that ball game, the Orioles scored 4 runs on bases loaded walks. May of 92. So far they have 3 in this game. Pitch taken for a strike. Chance Sisco, one of those. Bases loaded walk in the second inning and a 2 RBI base hit in the first. So Chance has a 3 RBI game. Sisco, Peterson, and Mancini.
See, those are those borderline pitches because you've been all over the lot, so to speak. You just don't get.
So far 7 walks drawn by the Orioles off the 2 White Sox pitchers. Beck will miss down low with that and will fall behind one more time.
Yeah, like we said, coming off a long relief appearance over 3 innings against the Pirates. Pitched well.
3 RBIs in a ball game, season high. That's going to be to the middle. They were shifted. Moncada long throw. Good stretch by Abreu to get Sisco. 1 away here in the 4th inning. Well, the Birds host the Angels June 29 through July 1. On Saturday, June 30th, the first 35,000 fans 15 and over get the Birdland Hawaiian shirt. For tickets, go to Orioles.com. Ohtani will be in town, hopefully. Throwing, hitting.
Yeah.
Doing the PA announcing.
Well, I tell you what, I had my doubts. Not anymore. After seeing him play.
Really
run. That's the other thing. Never had any idea somebody that at 6'4" could run that fast. Not to mention throwing about 100 and 101.
A great athlete who's going to find his way both pitching and hitting by the looks of it. Beck with 1 down, 0-1 count. Peterson has flied to center twice. Now into the shift. Nice scoop in the short hop made by Anderson.
Yeah, he certainly played the last 2 hitters well. Both balls hit well. I mean, Sisco centered his ball on a changeup.
We were talking about starting pitchers by the Rays. Tomorrow night, Orioles go to open it up. 6:30 O's extra. 7 o'clock for the ball game. David Hess probably for the Orioles, although not official. Tampa Bay is going to start 3 guys out of the bullpen in the 3 games. Romo, Stanek, and Romo. Those are going to be the starters. We may have to change that term in baseball. Are they really starters? They are in the sense they begin the game, but in the traditional sense.
I mean, think about it. It's going to be a new term for setup guys. I mean, they're setting up your starters instead of the other way around. And they're setting up your closer.
Isn't that amazing? Well, this is what's going on now. If you look at it this way, this is from 1973 when the DH came in. What inning are the most runs scored in the American League? The first, 1.12. Most runs scored in the first inning and the fewest scored in the 9th. So if you want to cut down the runs in the first inning, why not bring in the guy who keeps the runs down in the 9th? The only problem with that is when you get to the 9th inning, what are you going to do?
Well, I think Romo used to be a closer when he was with the Giants and a very good one, but he's a setup guy now. They got him last year.
Yeah.
And but it's also a game of matchups. Like Buck Shoulder will say, the Angels have a predominantly right-handed hitting ball club. They're not going to change regardless who pitches.
No.
I think 8% of the time, a right-handed hitter, the first 4 hitters for the Angels are right-handed. And why not? If you're Mike Scioscia, you want your best hitters up in the first inning.
And the Orioles are susceptible to the same thing. And swing and a miss. So the sides retired in order. 3 strikeouts by Beck. Orioles, though, the big lead, 9-zip. Coleman. He works on the grounds crew here for Roger Brossart in Chicago. In 1994, he was convicted of rape and murder of a young woman. He spent 23 years in jail, wrongly accused. And DNA evidence proved it was a serial rapist who committed those crimes. He got out of jail, and the White Sox brought him back where he was working before. That'll be hauled in by Trey Mancini. Really unbelievable story, and a man with the most positive attitude about the past is the past. I'm living now. My family stayed together. I'm back with my kids and my wife. I have the job I wanted.
Yeah, I read that when it happened. I mean, I think it was somewhere in the off season, and I think he also lost brothers and mom and family and so forth. So that's pretty sad statement of what happened.
Years.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh. Pitch on the inside corner. So Dylan Bundy went away. Moncada retired 0 for 2. Sanchez a strikeout victim.
And you saw from the way Mancini went about, there are no routine fly balls because of the wind.
A 9-0 lead. So for the Orioles starters, throw some strikes. Breaking ball off speed in there.
Yeah, we saw last night Alex Cobb retired the first 7 batters. Of course, Dylan struck out the first 9. He struck out 6. And the curveball was very effective early for Cobb, and then all of a sudden he got in trouble. He gave up 5 hits in the 3rd inning, 4 of them on breaking balls. Set him down and away. But today, Dylan Bundy, he's picked up his pitches very nicely, and the curveball's been very effective. He's thrown probably more than he usually does in a game.
Hit him.
Didn't want to do that.
So the 3rd hit batter by Dylan Bundy on the year, and Sanchez will go down, and he'll be the first White Sox base runner.
Yeah, trying to go in, and he can do that well. He pitches both sides of the plate very effectively, and it's going to hurt.
That's why you have the armor.
Yeah, I think it misses that, though. Kind of up on the shoulder. Maybe a little bit of high. I mean, that armor usually protects the back of the tricep and the elbow. Still hurts.
Runner on at first, 1 down. That'll bring Abreu up. Abreu flied out to center field in his first at bat. 6 for 15 in the series. Raised his average in this series up to .385. Lifetime against the Orioles. Still with the 7 career home runs. The White Sox get a base runner for the first time. Bundy with a long look. And the pitch will be taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Some turnaround for the Orioles coming into this in this series. 6 runs in 3 games. They were hitting 186 in this ball game. 9 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Trey Mancini, Jones, all delivering home runs back to back in that 2nd inning. Runner off first. Davis off the bag. 1-2 delivery and a swing and a miss chasing.
Well, you just don't throw any better breaking balls than that.
That'll be strikeout number 7.
Well, there's such a big difference. Lefties came in hitting 330s, but and this number's gone down. Righties at 204. Home runs a little bit more because there's more at bats against the right-handers, but the average about 126 points lower against the righties for Dylan Bundy.
Now 2 down. Palka flied out to center field his first time up. Shift on. And he'll take a 92-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees for a strike. For Dylan in the strikeout department, he's had 10 against Toronto, his high this year. 12 is his career high that came against Seattle last year. Bundy with the 0-1 on Palka. And a pitch up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike count. White Sox came in having 7 or more hits in 11 consecutive ball games. First time they have done that this season. They're still looking for their first hit in this one.
Yeah, they've scored 10 or more runs 4 times, including last night.
There'll be no play on this. It'll end up in the seats. But with this wind, you got to give chase.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing at Fenway Park with the low roof. All balls are in play because of, especially on windy days.
Dillon up to 50 thrown in the ball game to retire through 3 2/3. Polk up behind on the count 1-2. Lead at first base. Sanchez. Ball's going to get away. A swinging strike, and he'll reach on it. So Sanchez goes down to second base. Almost every strikeout Dillon's had, the White Sox have gone after pitchers that have been in the dirt. We've already seen 3 assists on strikeouts in the ball game.
Well, I mean, they're 2 strike pitches, and you're trying to throw a strike to ball, and right there, I mean, this ball bounce is going to be called a wild pitch. I mean, you still get the strikeout, but they get a runner, and that's what they're looking for, down by 9.
First and second with 2 down, and Rondon, designated hitter. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. 4th wild pitch of the year for Dillon, and the pitch is down low. White Sox lots of chances in the series, 10 for 27 with runners in scoring position. Rondon in this series has gone 3 for 8, and he has picked up a home run. Wanted to swing, tied up, and it's in there.
Yeah, I was talking to Dylan Bundy because he had a great start and then some struggles over start 5, 6, and 7, and he said his dad noticed he was actually dropping his arm straight down in the actual circle, so he watch his hand come out of his glove and go back a little bit. That little swing.
In the air, left field, got all of it. There's the first hit. Goodbye home run. Rondon delivering his 2nd home run of this series and puts the White Sox on the board. It is 9-3.
Yeah, they picked him up on waivers for cash considerations. So first home run to right field last night, took a fastball the other way, and here first bad breaking ball, a hanger. So the only way against the wind, you got to pull it, unless you're Adam Jones, and you got to hit it hard. So with 1 swing, 3 runs, and this is what they've done.
So 9-3. Home run number 2 on the year, both coming in this series. Pitch taken for a strike. Narvaez at the plate, strikeout victim, White Sox catcher. So it was a hit batter and a strikeout wild pitch to put the runners on, and then hit number 1 of the ball game is the homer, and that's been the bugaboo for Bundy this year. He's got the 2nd highest rate in the American League in home runs per innings pitched. That is going to be homer number 14 hit against him this season. 10 of those by righties.
Yeah, you go back to his last game in Boston, he actually pitched all right except 3 pitches. Solo home run to Devers, changeup that stayed up, 2-1 fastball to Betts, 0-2 slider to Benintendi. And when you don't get a lot of runs, which is not the case today, it shows up in the loss column. A little bit different. You can get away with it, at least to this point.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Omar Narvaez trying to keep the inning going, and the off-speed delivery is going to miss outside.
Well, we found out last night that they really have made adjustments in the. They did it against Cashner the first night. They sent 7 batters to the plate after the 5th inning, didn't give up any runs, had a 3-0 lead, and he was on the ropes. He got knocked out.
Narvaez waiting on a ground ball. That one off the handle goes to Scope. He'll make the play over to Davis. That'll retire the side. But 3 runs in on just 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. Home run by Rondon.
Machado out, and then all of a sudden the Orioles already scored 3 in the first. Back-to-back home runs. Mancini hits a screamer for his 7th home run, and then Adam Jones red hot on the road over 300, his 9th. Engel with a great catch, doesn't get the ball or the glove, and the Orioles with a 9-3 lead. Those are your Geico highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Orioles will bat here in the 5th inning. It'll be Adam Jones, Manny Machado, and Jonathan Scope coming to the plate. Adam has had the home run in the 2nd inning, base hit, run scored in the 3rd, and a single in the 1st and scored. So 3 times up, 3 hits, and 3 runs scored in the ball game. A whole day here, and we're in the 5th. He will foul that one off. Chris Beck trying to eat up some innings as their starter Lucas Giolito gave up 7 runs, 6 hits in just an inning and a 1/3. So a couple of runs have been charged to Beck. 2 runs on 3 hits since he came on. He too has walked 3 and struck out 3. 4 walks were surrendered by the White Sox starter Giolito. Right-hander's delivery to him. A little golf swing on that one. And count goes 0-2.
Well, we've seen Chris Beck, after being good stuff, no idea where it's going, settled down a little bit, using all his pitches. Struck out Mancini at the end of the last inning. So some better changeups, better fastball command, and he's got a pretty good curveball.
Beck's 0-2 delivery on the way, and Adam down to first. And we snagged by Abreu.
Yeah,
Adam charging, and they do not get the out. That's why you run him out. Could not be handled by Beck, who got over to cover but couldn't take it from Abreu.
Yeah, he hesitated. I don't know what he was thinking. Probably didn't know where Abreu was playing, and then he takes off. He's shaking his head. Makes a nice pitch, just a little emergency hack, and you could see him hesitate. So he should have caught it, but again, he's trying to catch the ball because he gets there late, and he knows he has to hurry because Adam Jones is running. And there you get the, I don't know who they'll give the error to, but either way, he should have caught it, but he should have been there a lot earlier. Just could have caught it, found the bag, and tagged him.
Error on the pitcher, and the first error of the ball game. So the Orioles get the leadoff man on again. And check swing that he went around on Manny Machado. Manny's got 2 hits in the ball game, 2 singles, an RBI, and he has flied out. Well, the Orioles kick off another inning with a door that's open based on the error, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it. That one bounces, away goes Adam. Throw will be made, but not in time. Adam stays on the bag on the wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch and attentive base running. And you get your good secondary lead the minute it hits the dirt. You read it, which is what Adam does. Narvaez is going to block it. He sees how far it is. He actually makes a nice throw.
So now another runner for the Orioles in scoring position, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. And a swing and a miss by Manny. Well, among the leader roles in the American League, Manny comes in to the ball game with runs batted in for the month at 22, and that is number 1 in the American League. In road games, Manny leads the league in road RBIs with 24. 1-2 delivery on the way, and a big swing that he didn't get. And Beck gets his 4th strikeout. Our PNC Minor League Insights brought to you by PNC. No better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day.
Well, the big lefty, and you know what a great year he had last year, and you could see the scouting grades. That's 20 to 80. So fastball, you know, 50 out of 80. Control, I mean, he walked 11 in what, 54 innings last year. In fact, hits and walks, Gary, when do you ever see below the innings pitched? And you know, again, he struck out 75. So a young lefty, probably not a radar guy. He's going to say, hey, this guy throws 96 or 97, but it looks like he's got a pretty good idea how to pitch.
The Orioles will be hoping so.
Well, stay healthy. That's yeah. See where it gets you.
Pretty thin in the minors on pitching prospects for the O's, and they need them. 1-0 count. Swing and a miss as Beck with a big delivery on an off-speed pitch.
Yeah,
Scope, 2-run scored, a single. You struck out and reached on a fielder's choice.
It's funny when you talk to scouts or people that have seen not only the Orioles but other ones. You'd like to have a lot of prospects at AA and AAA, but most of the times at A, and you hope it's high A. A lot of the guys that had great at low A, Delmarva, have been moved up a little bit. Michael Baumann we talked about. So,
Ooh-ah.
yeah.
Navarez chasing that one. Orioles are 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, just piling up the opportunities here in game 4. 2-ball 1-strike count on Scope. Davis waiting on deck.
Yeah, that's when you want to have the good agility and long arms.
Navarez snagging that one. It was by him. Runner off second base.
Wow.
Even up the count at 2-2. Adam Jones reaching on the air, then the wild pitch moved him down. Set up down and away for Beck. Pick off at second, and that's going to go into center field. Adam gets up and decides to stay right here. Zingle comes in to get it.
Yeah, Moncada is going to sneak behind him. Not even close to being a good throw.
Count remains at 2-2. Moncada stays close to second, holding at him. And Scope will take it down low, and another block made. Elias having to go down on the knees to stop it. And the count is 3-2.
You keep track of how many two counts we've had?
No.
No, I didn't.
I do not want to be that sad on one day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But today would have been difficult because you would have run out of ink or lead if you had a pencil.
And the 3-2 delivery on the way. Scope pops it up first base side. Abreu. That'll be the second out here in the 5th. Holding Jones at second base. And we may get a pitching change here. Yep.
Yeah, well, they had Aaron Bummer. We saw the lefty came in last night to get some work. He was up throwing earlier, so maybe they're going to match up. Of course, Chris Davis, 4 home runs, 3 against left-handers. We'll see how he fares.
Beck 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Visit your local Baltimore Annapolis Acura dealer for attractive offers on the thrilling Acura lineup. That accurate copy went flying around the booth. Unfortunately, landed in my hand before it was time to read it.
Kind of like walks and 3-2 counts today. Aaron Bummer, second day. You know, not a hard thrower, but it's got 3 pitches: fastball, slider, changeup. Had trouble with inherited runners. You could see actually lefties hit him a little bit harder at 310 versus 289, as Chris Davis hits left-handed, will match up against him.
Davis up, runner on at second base, 2 away. Chris, a walk, a run scored, hit by a pitch, and he has struck out. So Chris this season against lefties hitting 128. Does have 3 home runs against lefties. Adam Jones, reaching via the error, remains at second with 2 outs. That's going to get away, and he's going to go to third. Be no throw made there. That one just ticked off the glove, and it's a pass ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's his 8th pass ball. So, you know, you're $15 million over 2-year catcher. I mean, that ball just should have been caught. Movement certainly can make it a little more difficult, but you're a catcher. They give you a big glove. You're supposed to catch that ball. And then if you bounce a breaking ball in the dirt, and then all of a sudden it's 10-3. We'll see if that happens. It also puts pressure on your defense. They have to cleanly make a play.
There's another one, but it stays there.
Yep.
So Bummer having the problems that Giolito and Beck have had, and that's getting things in the strike zone.
Well, Jace Fry is their left-handed guy that pitches late in the inning, and he's retired 24 out of 27. So Bummer's been around. He is 19th round, so kind of a high draft pick that's worked his way to the big leagues. Never ever in the minor leagues started a game. Always out of the bullpen.
Taken for his strike. First major league service last year, 30 games with the White Sox. He went 1-3, had an ERA of 4.5. He was out of Valencia, California. Attended the University of Nebraska. He was one of their starting pitchers. And Chris turns to go to first. He'll turn to come back to the batter's box. 3-2.
Yeah, I think he thought it was a ball. Alan Porter says no. He's not ready to hit. And Bummer's ready to pitch. So he steps out.
Chris now has had on this road trip a 1 for 24 with 14 strikeouts. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Ground ball to the middle. Shift was on. That's Anderson, the shortstop. Nice play by Abreu to come up with it. So the Orioles are retired. No runs, no hits, an error, and a base runner left on. Orioles remain on top, and a young man celebrating summer. game in Chicago, and the hold them down page. The Astros have done just that. They've allowed just 126 runs this year. That's the fewest through 50 games in the live ball era, going back to 1920. And of course, they're scoring runs. The Phillies 2 shutouts in the Atlanta series, holding the Braves to 3 total runs and earned. And since 1913, it is just the 8th time Philadelphia's recorded at least 2 shutouts in the same series. That will go to center. Adam Jones is there. He puts it away, and Anderson is retired on a pitch here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and I think the importance of that, number one, they're tied in the loss column, Philadelphia and Atlanta. So both of these teams coming out of nowhere, rebuilding and getting off to great starts. But Atlanta coming in led the National League and still does in runs.
Yeah.
So 2 shutouts. That's pretty impressive.
Couple of very surprising teams through the first quarter, now into the second of Major League Baseball, the Braves and the Phillies. And the Orioles are going to see them both. Pitch is taken for a strike. Tilson lined out his first time up. He hit the ball hard. Chicago White Sox roster, there's tons of changes. Tilson, of course, as we said, was called up today. They've got designated hitter Matt Davidson out of the lineup. He had back stiffness and was scratched from the game last night and not playing today. And Larry Garcia left the game with that sprained knee. They're going to reevaluate Garcia on a daily basis, see how he is. They're so short in the outfield. They've signed a couple of outfielders recently. Alex Presley, 32-year-old veteran, was added to Charlotte's active roster, and Michael Saunders about 6 days ago was added to their minor league roster.
Well, Presley was actually playing for AAA Norfolk for the Orioles.
Yep.
Slow start, but playing very well. He had over 300 last year. I think he's like 32, so he's got a little bit of age. But he's always been able to play at this level. He's never going to hit a lot of home runs, but he gets on and can play the outfield and run a little bit. But I was in talking to Don Cooper today, and Tilson came in. He was high-fiving everybody. He was so happy to be in the big leagues because of the injuries.
Trey Mancini. Boy, you can see how unsteady it is trying to track that ball in this wind here today. Tilson retired, 2 down. Tomorrow, join the Ozone Rally team presented by Budweiser 6 to 8 at the Valley Inn in Lutherville, Timonium, featuring former Orioles catcher Chris Hoyles and the Oriole Bird. For the complete schedule of rally info, visit Orioles.com/rallies.
You ever been to the Valley Inn? I used to live down the street, and they apparently redid it. And apparently it's a beautiful restaurant.
Have not been there.
Yeah.
Foul back and out of play. I would check though Baltimore Magazine. I love Baltimore Magazine. They've listed places they consider to be the best ice cream stops in the Baltimore area for the summer of 2018.
Yeah, so
that's the big stuff.
Right.
That's big news.
Well, important, and I'm sure you were one of the people that actually.
No.
Come on.
No, they didn't ask me.
Why wouldn't they?
No.
Did any of them have grape nut ice cream? That's the important.
Yes.
Thing. Really?
But they did away with it.
Well, then they're not
they don't have
list.
it anymore.
They're not on the list.
It was one of the ice creams that got eliminated at one of the shops. I looked and saw that. I was like, that's too bad. And the pitch in there for a strike. Dylan Bundy's got 9 of them. A 1-2-3 inning sets them down in a hurry after giving up 3 in the 4th. Gives up nothing here in the 5th. is $50 supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Light the Night Walk. O's have 416 walks, a total of $7,300. Care First encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Oh, that number went up today.
It did.
Thank you, Mr. Giolito. And
7 of them.
yeah.
7 walks. And the breaking ball will be in there for a strike. Bummer remains on for Chris Beck. Final line, 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 innings. He walked 3 and struck out 4. Pedro's had success today in the RBI department. A bases loaded walk and an RBI single. Officially 1 for 2. He popped out in the other at bat. Gentry and Cisco will follow for the Orioles here in the 6th inning. That's going to go into right center field for a base hit. Anderson gave it a try as they had the shift on. And Alvarez is on with a leadoff single in the 6th inning.
Well, Pedro is going to play, as you mentioned. So right here, it's a slider. He makes a nice adjustment. Bummer doesn't get the ball nearly probably where he wanted. So it's a little bit hittable, and it's only hittable if you hang in there.
4 out of 6 innings. The Orioles have had the leadoff batter on base today.
And of course, our Nissan pitch track allows us to go out and see where that hanging slider was.
And he got it. Here's Craig Gentry. Couple of walks and a fielder's choice for the Oriole right fielder. Short lead at first base and a check swing and a pitch down low. The Gentry again able to get ahead on the count as it goes 2-0. Gentry a chopper. Big hop. Going to go to second anyway, and they'll get 1. Good play. Sanchez.
Yeah,
Moncada covered.
Yeah, Yelmer Sanchez has got a really good head for this game. And we talk about his enthusiasm. I mean, he's got great speed. Not stealing base speed, but offensively. And right here, he knows who's running because he didn't even hesitate. You know, Gentry can run. He's going to throw him out, but it's going to be bang bang at first. But he takes not only the first out, but it's the lead runner, and that's important when you're already giving up 9 more than you wanted to.
Chance Cisco, 2 RBI single, bases loaded walk. And he is grounded out, and he will take the pitch for a strike. 1 down, runner on at first. Orioles 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. Build up to 9-0 lead before the home run by Rondon for 3 in the 4th for the White Sox. Sweeping pitch will be outside. Third pitcher on, Bummer, for the White Sox today. And there'll be at least 1 more, probably 2. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pretty good lead at first for Gentry. And that's going to miss down low. 2-1.
Yeah, if you're Rick Renneria, you can kind of work your way through the back end of the bullpen, try to stay close and still get your guys the work. We saw Rondon in the first 2 games. We saw the closer Nate Jones 2 games ago. He probably won't pitch, but Babylon, Soria maybe get an inning each.
4-game series. You get to see just about all of the bullpen, even in tight games, and there have been obviously 2 3-2 ball games.
Yeah, only Fry is Jace Fry, who's again on one of those roles, and the only guy we haven't seen out of their bullpen.
What do you think the count is?
3-2. I think again you want to have the innings get over quicker one way or the other. Just start 3-2. That's the way it's been all day for the White Sox.
3-2 delivery on the way to him and a swing and a miss. So Bummer gets the strikeout, and there are 2 down. Cisco retired. And Jace Peterson coming up. Jace wants to enter the offensive flow here. He's had the 0 for today, 0 for 3.
Yeah, ended the first inning by flying out to center. Ended the second inning by flying out to center. And then he took an inning off and grounded out to shortstop. Actually hit it pretty well, but Anderson was standing right there.
Chase will take it.
Think about it. I mean, the game, you get, whether you win or lose, if you're on the road, the Orioles are going to have to get 27 outs, and if they're winning, and only what 24 if they're losing, somebody has to make outs or the game never ends.
Runner goes. It'll be a stolen base. Gentry off. Ball out of the hands of Narvaez, so he could not make a throw. So Gentry gets himself into scoring position.
Yeah, kind of a little tune-up, and yep, couldn't get a handle on it. Game's not over. They scored 11 runs yesterday, so I think he can make it. A little tune-up for Tampa.
7 out of 8 stolen bases for Gentry. Jace Peterson, another bouncer way outside.
And a nice block by Narvaez right there. I mean, he did a textbook right there. Got the whole body in front of it. He's had a busy afternoon. I mean, Giolito all over the place. Even Chris Beck throwing a lot harder.
Narvaez in his 25th ball game. Most of those, though, have come other than starts. A 1-ball 2-strike count. Peterson with a runner at second base will take it, and it's there. So Bummer gets a couple of strikeouts. The Orioles no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. O's up in this one, 9-3.
Remember the league, I think the exit velocity, the average is about 88.9. So again, 4-seam fastball down, 2-seam fastball up a little bit. Chris hadn't thrown that many. Slider down. Only the hanging slider was hit hard. Curveball, they hardly hit it at all. They hadn't thrown too many changeups. So the early lead, he's pitched very, very well.
And he'll work here to Moncada, leadoff batter, fouls it back. 22-year-old out of Cuba, now a Florida native. 2016 minor league player of the year by Baseball America, picked up in the big deal with the Red Sox, who had signed him originally as a free agent. Moncada will foul that one away as well.
You know, those the Boston Red Sox deep pockets, $31.5 million, and another $31.5 million because they were over the international penalty, so they had to pay 100% penalty. So that's a, you know, that's how what they thought of him, and that was at age 18.
Yeah. Yohan Moncada will follow, put it up in the air. It may stay fair. Right along the line. Umpire says, yep, that was a fair ball. Put away by Peterson for the out, and one away. Orioles are proud to join Johns Hopkins, University of Maryland, other corporate leaders supporting Baltimore City's youth programs, the WORK program, providing as many as 12,000 Baltimore City youth with summer employment. You can donate. Go to BaltimoreCityFoundation.org. Choose the Mayor's Office of Employment Development Youth Works. To learn more, visit youthworks.oed.com. Here is Sanchez. One down, 6th inning. Sanchez hit by a pitch. Got the 4th inning underway when they would score 3 runs on 1 hit. Sanchez hit by a pitch, 2 down. Polka struck out, but the ball got away. He got to first, and Rondon hit a 3-run homer. 2-0 delivery, taking all the way. 19,147. 19,147.
Sun splash crowd. Beautiful.
Beautiful day.
Yeah.
Pitch will be taken away.
I mean, yesterday much nicer than the first 2 days, but got a little bit cold as the game progressed.
That wind's been blowing in. Did last night. There's Soria, whom we have seen. Sanchez 3-1. Goes after it and fouls it back.
Yeah, great luxury when you have a 6-run lead. I mean, Dylan Bundy's, he wants to go as long as he can, so you're looking for outs. But what a difference when you have a 6-run lead, when you got to throw a pitch and make sure it's over.
Full count delivery on the way, and he'll walk it. That's the first walk surrendered by Bundy in the ball game. Puts 1 on, 1 down here in the 6th. Now Bundy's got to face Abreu. Abreu 6 for 11 now against Bundy lifetime with a home run. He's 0 for 2 today. He has flied out and struck out, one of Dylan's 9 strikeouts in the ball game.
Well, the bullpen is short because of injuries and pitching a lot. You know, for the Orioles, Gibbons had a pitch in the first game through 61 pitches, 28-33. Brock came in, got the save the first night, and then of course last time when you lose 11-1, you're using a lot of people.
Abreu among the leaders, tied for 2nd in doubles. He's got 16 of them. Extra base hits at 24, is tied for 7th. And he was 9th in average starting the day at 309. Abreu waiting, 0-1 delivery. Will miss a little bit inside.
Well, he hits the ball hard. He's not a bad first baseman. We talked about it last night. There's a rumor that Dodgers certainly are interested.
Is he part of the rebuilding process for the White Sox, or expendable to get prospects? 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. Abreu started, stopped. That hit the bat. 2-1, did not.
Yeah, signed this year and next, reasonable amount of money. And you know, if your team gets better, I would imagine they would have the financial means. I think their payroll somewhere in the $72 million range, which is pretty frugal for major league teams now.
2-1. Runner off first base. Abreu down to 3rd base. Peterson's got it. Scope, relay in time. They turn the double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Bundy getting some D behind him. A very efficient game for the Orioles starter. 9 3-0s. date. We go to 1994. It was Cal's big day. County Stadium off Teddy Higuera, number 300 in the home run department. And in 36 at Shibe Park, second baseman Tony Lazzari, again the first major leaguer to hit 2 grand slams in the same game. The Yankees beat the A's 25-2. Lazzari would go on to the Hall of Fame in the class of 91 as a veteran. See the 5-time World Series champion, single game record RBIs 11. That game in 1936, and a .292 career hitter. Tony Lazzari, Hall of Famer. Orioles here have the big 9-3 lead, out hitting the White Sox 10-1.
And Soria comes on. We saw him game 2. A veteran. He's struggling a little bit as of late. But again, fastball. I mean, he's got the cutter. He's got the changeup. So, and again, you could see almost a strikeout per inning. So he's a strike thrower, veteran that he'll come in a game where you're 6 runs down, and he knows what he needs to do. Just throw strikes. Lefties hitting him a lot better than righties. And you look at ERAs. Again, 6 earned runs in his last 5 1/3 innings. That's certainly going to inflate it. Used to be a closer. Now he's a setup man.
That'll be in the dirt. Trey Mancini, Orioles leadoff batter, a home run. Picked up a walk and scored. He has struck out, grounded out, and a couple of other at bats in the ball game.
Now the difference making ABs where your club has a big lead and you want to get another knock.
And he'll go down to third with this and foul.
I was looking at the numbers. He had such a great year last year with the 24 home runs, and last year he had 352 with batting average on balls in play. That's 50 points higher than the league average, 52 points to be exact. This year he's right at the league average at 296. So that doesn't really, he was so much better. And of course last year they say that's a number that can fluctuate from year to year. But again, he's hitting above the norm with 2 strikes. Home run percentage that went up today with his 7th home run. Last year he hit a home run every 22 times up. This year it's 29.
2-2 will be in the dirt, and we'll have another full count. So 3-2 on Trey Mancini, Oriole leadoff batter. Soria on for Bummer, worked an inning in the 3rd. Bummer gave up 1 hit, had a couple of strikeouts. Beck 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Giolito, their starter, inning in the 3rd, 7 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks. Orioles have drawn 8 walks in the game. Mancini will keep the 3-2 count alive. Orioles after victory number 16 on the year, trying to get some of these wins on the road. They'll go to Tampa Bay, of course, for the 3-game set. It's been a long road trip. 4 in Boston, 4 here, part of that Red Sox series, the makeup game, and then there'll be 3 in Tampa. Trey goes to 3rd. That's another foul ball. Orioles are currently 2-5 on the trip. This is going to improve those offensive numbers. They came in hitting only .218 and averaging 2.6 runs per game on the trip. You get 9 runs on 10 hits. That's enough, and the Orioles still have at bats to go. In the 7th, Dylan Mudney pitching a 1-hitter. A home run by Rondon, 4th inning. But it was a homer, good for 3. Mancini 3-2 for the 2nd time, and he'll get him on a K.
Yeah, you could see the veteran. He went right to the glove. That's how you got to get Trey Mancini out, make the perfect pitch.
Take a look at our 4 drive of the game as Adam steps in.
Yeah, he hits it. The wind's still blowing from left to right. So he hits this ball in, Engel with a great grab, loses the ball, good over his glove. The glove leaves, had to get another glove out of the dugout. So Adam, well over 300, 9 home runs on the year and 5 home runs on the road.
Hurry to your local Ford dealers. Great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. And he'll take the pitch inside for a ball. So Adam having a big month. did a very good road trip. Improved dramatically in this ball game with the 3 hits he's had, and on all 4 times that he's been up. Shift on against him in the infield, pitched him inside. Soria did, and leaving it up at a ball and a strike. Soria 1-2 lifetime against the Orioles. He's had 8 saves, 8 and 9 chances against the O's when he used to be doing that. Foul back, and Adam will fall behind on the count of ball and 2 strikes. Joakim Soria trying to put in probably a couple of innings here. Try and keep that bullpen not overload on any particular pitcher and keep them available for the next series. 1-2 delivery is up high. Fastball at 92 miles an hour.
Now the Tommy John surgery in 2012 and the years before. I mean, he was one of the premier closers for Kansas City. 42, 30, 43. Probably threw about 2-3 miles per hour harder than he does now.
2 ball 2 strike delivery on the way. Change up third base. Sanchez up. Another fine play. And there are 2 down here in the 7th. Savor the flavors of Sarasota, Florida. From fresh seafood to world-class cuisine, visit savorsarasota.com. 2 outs recorded here in the 7th. That will bring Manny up. Manny Machado, a couple of hits, RBI, 2 singles, 2 for 4 in the ball game. 3 for 15 in the series. And he's not had a hit off Soria in 3 at bats. Right-hander's pitch to him, down hard, 0-1.
Well, as quick a bat he has, if Soria throws one of those little cutters and starts it at your front hip and leaves it out over the plate.
That's going to go into left field, and another. So Manny Machado's on with a 3 for 4.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Manny, when you're playing on a club that's only won 15 and lost 34, the intensity and the quality of the bats he's been able to maintain. I mean, that's not a bad breaking ball. He just goes down and covers the outside corner. You know, I mean, I think if you're Joakim Soria, you're going, hey, okay, I made a good pitch. He's a good hitter. He kept it in the ballpark. But that's what he's done all year long. And then when you make a mistake, turns it around like he did on Monday night, hits home runs.
It's his 19th multi-hit game and the 5th in which he's had 3 hits. He has also had 1 4-hit game on the season for Manny Machado. So Manny, after going back-to-back games for the first time without a hit in the last 2, making up for it here with a 3 for 4. Orioles now with 11 hits. Soria's delivery is taken by Jonathan Scope. Jonathan a base hit. He's gone 1 for 4. Now has a 4-game hit streak that he'll be taking with him to Tampa. One ball, 1 strike count. Pulls the runner. For the moment at least, Manny's now the leader again in the American League in hits. 65 moves him a couple ahead of Mookie Betts and Jose Altuve, who were tied starting the day at 63. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Manny just hanging in on all those categories. 4th in average, 2nd in home runs, 1st in RBIs. Another stop made. Narvaez having a lot of work behind the plate today, stopping pitches.
Yeah, I mean, he does. And congratulations to the Golden Knights of Las Vegas and the Caps. How about going to the Stanley Cup? And he looks like a goalie today, the way he's had to dive all over the place, trying to keep the baseball or the puck in front of him.
He's done a great job of that today, and there's all of the pitchers they've thrown. 5 of them have dumped a lot of pitches in the dirt. Fouled back again. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Well, the Orioles may have heard their manager today pregame was talking about, Buck always likes to talk about the track record and of players and players rising to what that track level has been. Today Buck said time to stop looking at the track record and time to start doing it, and that's what they have done here in this ball game offensively. 2-ball 2-strike count. Manny Machado at first with 2 down. Abreu off the bag by a step and a half, still holding him. Popped up that way and back out of play, and Souvenir back behind home plate. So the count will remain at 2-2 on Scope.
Got Don Cooper on the phone, and they scurry in their bullpen because I think again they're going to Detroit. They want to have Sawyer at least available. Like you said, they've won 5 out of 7 games. May not win today. Game not over, but
yeah, and his pitch count going up here.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, and the Orioles have done a nice job of fouling off the pitchers. There's Jace Fry, who we haven't seen him in this series.
Runner will be going. Abreu moves behind. Manny Machado at first base. And the 3-2 delivery on the way. Popped up first base side. Abreu. It'll be over the screen and over the dugout. So the count will stay at 3-2. At least a 10-pitch at bat for Jonathan. Orioles batting around in each of the first 2 innings. Jumped out to the big lead, and they've had it pretty much in cruise control since. They got up 7-0, then made it 9-0 with a couple of runs in the 3rd. It wasn't until the 4th that Rondon's home run came with the 3 for the White Sox. 3-2 again. Chopper. Anderson. Little help at first base. Abreu goes down to pick it up. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 7th inning stretch time here in Game 4. So the fans settle back in after the 7th inning stretch here in Chicago. Dylan Bundy on the mound. Breaking ball is in there for a strike. Polka, Rondon, Narvaez, the 3 up for the White Sox. Dylan Bundy has worked 7 innings 3 times this year. That's as deep as he's gone into a game. We'll see how this one goes. Always keeping an eye on the pitch count, which is at just 84 right now.
Well, and it's been easy in the respect they got him a lot of runs and did it early, but a lot of long innings. So he's done a nice job of coming back. He's only the 1 walk. He did hit Sanchez. Looked like he's trying to go in and wing him, and 1 bad pitch.
Big heat upstairs that time, and 91 will get him.
So you mix up the pitches, and then because of the count, don't have to throw a strike. And he does it. Just goes right up the ladder. We had a guy, Tom Dukes, came over with Pat Dobson, who ended up being one of the 420 game winners, and Tom Dukes was a reliever. He goes, just stair step them. Just go right up the stairs with your high fastball, up the ladder.
They keep swinging, you keep climbing.
Exactly. They want to swing at the 4th floor, go ahead.
Rondon delivered the only hit off Bundy. His 2nd home run, both coming in this series, 2nd of the year.
Well, that's what, 10 strikeouts. Like what career high was that 1 hitter against Seattle last year? 29th of, 12 of them.
And a swing and a miss, so he is equal to season high in strikeouts. He had it against Toronto back on April 9. He has a real shot at that career high of 12. Rondon, 3 RBIs on 1 swing of the bat. It's still the only hit. That was back in the 4th inning. 0-2. Fastball will be outside.
Yeah, the other thing, and of course, when last time I said about how the hand comes out of the glove, Dad had said you're just kind of stabbing it instead of letting it naturally rotate back. Also had a little groin problem that they didn't really publicize much. Kept pitching, and he really uses his legs well. I think that's big deception. First time I ever saw him throw him, going, boy, this is one of the best windup I've ever seen, and reminded me of Nolan Ryan in the sense. I mean, Nolan used to stay inside his legs, but they really used the bottom half well. Of course, Nolan in the Hall of Fame with.
Tipped, and that goes in the mitt. So there's strikeout number 11. 2 here in the inning. Nobody on in the 7th. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Narvaez has struck out, grounded out. Bundy has gone only 3 over the minimum number of hitters to be faced, and it all came in the 4th inning. He issued a walk in the 6th, but a double play took Sanchez off the base pass. That's back into the screen, so you can't be much more efficient than what Dylan's been today.
And you're seeing, again, you have a good windup and you're well conditioned. You're not feeling any aches and pains. I mean, he's gone to another level with his fastball. He pitched at 90, 91 early, now 93.
In the middle, Manny Machado diving, can't get it, and it'll be the 2nd hit for the White Sox today.
Yeah, he's probably going to go back and say it probably won't make a difference, but he goes, I just threw the ball by him and then thought I could strike him out with a curveball. Didn't make a good pitch, and the White Sox did it all last night. Watch this little hanger. I'm right back. Almost got him.
So hit number 2 comes with 2 down in the 7th inning. Tim Anderson has struck out and he has flied out. The other thing they'll keep an eye on now, because the starts are up there, this is number 11. There's not much question, at least via the numbers. Dylan Bundy is far better working on 4 days rest than 5. He's making today's start on 4 days rest, and significant differences depending on which he does. He's gone 2-1 with an ERA of 1.36 starting on 4 days rest. He's 0-5 with an ERA of 8.44 on 5 days rest. Now, yes, your opponents, situations, and all that matter, but you're getting up there now where you got some numbers that say, you know something, he needs 4, not 5.
Yeah, well, and because I think he's a command guy. And I'm not trying to say he doesn't have good stuff, because he does. And he's got 4 pitches. Yeah, and he really had to use the changeup today because all the other pitches have been so good. But even last year, when he went from 109 2/3 being used as a starter in the bullpen in 2016, and all the way to 100 and almost 70 innings, he never said, I don't feel like I'm ready to pitch. But because of a young pitcher and pitched 60 more innings, they kept putting him back.
And there it is. He gets a strikeout. He has equaled his career high. He strikes the side out here in the 7th inning, and he has 12 in the ball game. Back here in Chicago South Side, the Orioles putting a dent in it with a 9-3 lead, out hitting the White Sox 11-2. And Soria works an inning with a hit and a strikeout.
Well, how about these numbers? And of course, Jace Fries comes on, not a hard thrower, but fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Tommy John surgery. Seems like almost everybody's had that. In fact, twice. Once as a minor leaguer, and then once at Oregon State, where is the university he came out of. But he's been good.
So Fry on to face Chris Davis. Alvarez and Gentry due up. Chris walked, hit by a pitch, struck out, grounded out. And Fry, the left-hander, working against him. Takes the count to 2-0 on Davis. 24 years old. Born in Portland, Oregon, lives in Vancouver, Washington now. That pitch is going to be up high. So Chris will get the 3-0 count to work with.
Well, changing the batting stance a little bit, just putting the bat on the shoulder. I mean, that's a ball that a lot of times you chase. He just took it.
And that's way inside.
Yeah.
So Chris getting on base as the Orioles get the leadoff man on again, this time here in the 8th inning. On 3 times, 2 walks, and hit by a pitch for Davis today. That's what, 4, 8, 9 walks surrendered by the 5 White Sox pitchers. Alvarez, he's taking advantage of it. Bases loaded walk back in the 1st inning. RBI single in the 3rd. Picked up a base hit in the 6th. Part of the 11-hit attack the Orioles have put on here today. Shift on at double play depth. Fry's delivery grounded to first. Tough stop. Abreu will get one. Relay will come back to him. Double play.
Real nice play. Looked like Pedro actually hit it pretty sharply, but because he does that, it gets to Abreu quicker, and then he picks it. picked on a curveball, hit it hard, and then they turned the double play. 3 to 6 to 3. You got to clear that runner. He's able to do it because the ball's hit hard enough, and then 1 pitch, 2 outs.
That'll bring Gentry up. Craig Gentry, 2 walks, a couple of fielder's choice plays. '24-year-old on the mound will put a pitch up high for a ball.
And you can see again, he's not an overpowering guy, but because he can change speeds. And of course, if you're left-handed, how do you get lefties out and righties? That certainly makes it easier for his manager. There's the big hook. Listened to a Cardinal game yesterday on MLB, and had Jim Edmonds and Rick Ankiel, and Ankiel gets to the big leagues, and Edmonds is a veteran, and he's an outfielder for him, and they bring in a lefty, and Edmonds says he's going to throw me a slider, I'm going to swing through it, you're going to throw me a fastball up and in, just throw me another slider, and I'm going to hit it in the bullpen. So the guy throws him a slider, he swings through it, he takes the fastball up and in, and then hits the next pitch into the bullpen for a home run. And Ankiel says he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
That'd be pretty instructive.
Yes.
Base hit into left field, shattered bat on that one, and Gentry is on. He gets the single with 2 down here in the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
And Jim Edmonds' point to a young player was, hey, when you play, and it's a little bit harder now when you only see the White Sox, what, for 7 games. You know, if you know guys, hey, you can set up pitchers just like pitchers can set up hitters if you see them often enough. Now, maybe you can't set up Chris Sale because he throws 98 with about as good a changeup and breaking ball as anybody. But some guys, you know, kind of predict what they're going to throw.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. It will go to 1-1 from Fry. Cisco at RBI on a bases loaded walk. 2 more and a single. 2 for 4 ball game, and he'll foul it back. Orioles tomorrow against Tampa Bay. Sergio Romo out of the bullpen to make the start. David Hess probably for the Orioles. 6:30 O's extra. 7 o'clock for the ball game from the Trop. And the 1-2 jammed him. Fought it off the catcher.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see David Hess. I couldn't watch the game in Boston, watch the highlights, but I did see his first game, and it's going to be his 3rd major league start. 2 of them against the Rays. Gave up 3 runs early and then pitched very well in Baltimore. Settled down, and so they know him, and he kind of knows them now. Interesting to me, see how this plays out.
See how the bullpen games start. Ground ball towards second. Moncada up. Abreu. That'll retire the Orioles. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Orioles up 9-3. and a 3-game series to wrap up the 11-game road trip. Our coverage on Masson begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Ford, followed by our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson. Here in Chicago, it has been an Orioles day here on the south side, dominating with a 9-3 run advantage and a 12-2 hit advantage. Dylan Bundy stays on, walked only one, has struck out a career high, equaling a career high 12. He will work here in the 8th inning. Dylan had one complete game last season, came against Seattle, 1-hit shutout. That was back on August 29. It is the only complete game he has had at the major league level.
Well, the impressive thing to me is that how well he's pitched. That's number one. But in fact, they came in, lefties were hitting 330. Today, totally different pitcher in the sense he's used that curveball. It's really been good. And the difference between what Alex Cobb, who got hit around the second time, using the curveball early on, was that this quality of the pitch has been consistent pretty much all afternoon. And then he's added and subtracted with his fastball command and velocity. Yep. There you go. There's
Tilson,
13.
there's number 13, a new high for Dylan Bundy. Career high in strikeouts.
Well, here's the hook. So it starts on the plate. Might have been a little bit of a slider. It's kind of hard to tell, but either way, great breaking ball. Pitch count right at an even 100.
One down here in the 8th inning. Engel coming up. He has been a strikeout victim twice. He was number 6 and 9 in the strikeout department. Dylan has gone through the lineup here and not let anybody off the hook. All 9 in the lineup have struck out at least once. That'll go to right field, right at Gentry.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you always talk about it, and I mean, I learned it early on, but how do you do with getting the first guy of the inning in? They have yet to get anybody on started inning.
They were really devastated by their starter in this ball game, Giolito, giving up the 4 runs, 3 hits in the first, and 3 more in the second. I mean, it was a long way to go in the game, but clearly it took a lot of fire out of the ball club. The Orioles doing it by getting their offense going early. And a swing and a miss, top of the order. Moncada's gone 0 for 3 in the ball game, 3 for 15 in the series.
Yeah, if you look at the White Sox, they have to be pretty pleased with the way that their starters did pitch. Santiago only 3 runs, but they were 3 solo home runs. Shields was very good, finessed his way through it, and then Kobe won his first major league game last night. They got him 11 runs.
This has been a real odd series by 2 teams not consistent. 2 3-2 ball games. One, they split those games, and then you have the big blowout last night of the White Sox, 11-1. You get a blowout early in this ball game, 9-3.
That is James Shields, the veteran righty.
1-2 delivery, and he just keeps piling them up. 14 strikeouts in the ball game. The new career high retires the side in order. We go to the 9th. is brought to you by Southwest. Low fares, nothing to hide. That's transparency. Orioles offense pretty transparent in this one. 9-3, 3 outs away from the victory as we go to the top half of the ninth.
Yeah, Luis Avalon, they got him from the Dodgers. Big curveball, veteran lefty. For a team that's rebuilding, they actually, they get Wellington Castillo. Of course, he gets suspended for PEDs for 80 games, but they added him, Avalon, Soria, and then tried to go young in other areas. Still trying to, maybe with young pitchers, have a back end of their bullpen.
He worked an inning against the Orioles in the first game. Had a couple of strikeouts, retired everybody. Jace Peterson, the Oriole third baseman, will lead it off in the 9 spot. Left-hander's breaking ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there around 60. It was 68 the other night, so it throws it slower in the day.
1-0 count. Avalon's delivery comes back with fastball. Peterson still looking to get on here. He's 0 for 4 in the ball game. He's out of 1 for 11 in the series.
We had James Shields throwing some ephus pitches at 86, 88, or excuse me, 66 and 68 miles per hour. There is the veteran right-hander. Talking to Dylan Covey, who won his first major league game.
Check swing. Did he hold up? Yep. Check down to third. Blue Jays continue with their problems. They lost today to the Angels by a score of 8-1. Estrada's now gone 2-5 with an ERA of 5.5 and a starting rotation struggling for the Blue Jays. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Avalon's delivery. Peterson will chop it towards first. Abreu will play it right by the bag for the out.
Yeah, I think they thought Marco Estrada, after coming off an off year, and of course he always can get black back problems. He would just give them a lot of innings and give them a chance to win. And so far that hasn't materialized.
He got touched up ball game today. 4 1/3, 4 runs on 7 hits.
Yeah, nowadays when you're not playing well, that's just enough to get you out of the game, and then John Gibbons has got to go to the bullpen, and
that's hurting.
Yep.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Trey Mancini, 6th plate appearance for him. Home run number 7, second inning, a walk scored in the 3rd. Struck out twice and grounded out. Avalon's delivery is a strike. He did go around.
I tell you that I don't know about this first base umpire on check swings. He's gotten a couple of wrong today, and it's not an easy call, but the scoreboard at 9-3, Brock getting loose, and then close the first game for a win.
He'll take that one inside, and a 2 ball 2 strike count on Trey Mancini.
It's such a difference in count. It would be 3-1 if they called the check swing, and I think the guys that have intensity, and Trey Mancini's is one of them, he doesn't care what the scoreboard is. He wants another base hit.
2-2 delivery to him will be up high,
or a walk in that case.
So the count goes 3-2. What will the word be on Trumbo, Mark Trumbo, if they can get the MRI done in Florida tomorrow?
Well, it was the slide, the long run, 4 for 4, and he said he thought he heard a pop, and hopefully that's nothing serious.
3-2 delivery, strike him out.
Yeah, that was a good one. Well, you slow curveball, change ups, coming in, out, and then pull the string. That's how he pitches.
9 strikeouts. recorded by the White Sox pitchers today, but they have also issued 9 walks. Two down here in the 9th inning. Adam Jones coming up. Adam has scored 3 times in the ball game. He's had 3 hits, 2 singles and a homer. Reached on an error, and he is grounded out. Avillon and an Ephus pitch at 65. Ball 1.
Well, you think, well, geez, can you really do that very often? I once pitched in a softball game, televised game, and Rod Carew was on the team, 7 batting titles. He could not hit slow pitch softball, which is probably somewhere maybe a little bit below 66. So of course, when we had our pitchers meeting, and you went through it last night, what did Earl Weaver say? I was the second pitching coach. I go, hey, just throw him something about 65 miles per hour. Of course, none of us did that except Tom Phoebus. Big overhand curveball, but Rodney could not hit a slow pitch softball. And then here's a guy that, you know, what, a 328 lifetime batting average, 7 batting titles. We found his weakness.
Too bad it wasn't a softball league.
Yeah. You're playing in the wrong league, Rodney. But I remember, you know, you pitched from 45 feet, and Greg Luzinski was playing for the National League. I would throw it and back up and get as far away from home plate as I could, just in case he hit one back up the middle.
2-1 delivery on the way. That'll be a major league pop up to short or second. Second baseman wants it, and Moncada will put it away. So the Orioles are retired in order. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning as the O's on their way to a win and maybe a complete game for Dylan Bundy. Whether Bundy can get the complete game in. As we said, he had 1 against Seattle. The 1-hit shutout came on August 29 of last year. He never had a complete game in the minors. Didn't work all that many games. He had 40 game starts, so he's only had 1 complete game in his professional career. He's got the 2-3-4 up: Sanchez, Abreu, and Palka.
Yeah, season high is 108, so he's at 107 right now. And of course, Buck Showalter would love to have him, number 1, get outs, but also have an easy inning and from a pitch standpoint.
Sanchez will foul that one back. Brad Brock is ready in the bullpen if that pitch count gets a little too high.
And then you get your closer, who hadn't pitched since Monday, and you only bring him in if you have to.
Bundy's delivery off speed will be up. 3-run homer by Rondon in the 4th inning, accounting for all 3 runs the White Sox have. The only other hit, a base hit, 2 down, 7th inning. Nevaez, the catcher, got that one. So he's working on a 2-hitter in this game, even though there are 3 runs up on the board. New career high in strikeouts so far with 14, and he has walked only 1. Sanchez in the 6th. Sanchez at the plate. 2-2. Just trying to punch it.
Yeah, that curveball just stayed up a little bit. Otherwise, he might have swung through it.
Orioles did not have a complete game this season. They've had 3 thrown against them. 2-2, just enough to keep it alive.
Yeah, the White Sox doing what they've done. Yeah, even against Kevin Gausman, as good as he was. He struck out 10 in 6 1/3 innings, and they still got 9 hits because they just kind of poked the ball around.
2-2 in the air to left.
Oh.
And the Sun saw it and puts it away. So Gentry in left field now in place of Mancini.
And Rickard comes out to play right field. And he's
one down. Abreu said the 0 for 3 as Bundy's held him down. He came in 6 for 9 against Bundy with a home run, but he is 0 for 3 in the ball game today. Most pitches thrown in Bundy's career came in that complete game against Seattle. That one hitter, he threw 116 pitches in that game. That's his career high at the major league level. Abreu on a way out in front on the 82 pitch. And
like,
0-2.
Yeah, well, what we talked about again, the righties came in at 204, and that slider against a very good right-handed hitting hitter like Abreu is going to bend the equalizer.
Oh-2 delivery. Wow. Turned him around. Off-speed pitch at 80. So the Orioles will be 16-34. It'll drop the White Sox to 15-32. Orioles will get their 6th win on the road. They'll go 6-21 in road games. Abreu down to first. Pool shot. Bobble. Bundy's there and records the out. Davis able to get it in time to get it to him.
Yeah, another good slider, another good result.
So 2 down. Bundy 1 more with the complete game under his belt. The Orioles will have a well rested bullpen to go to open up the series tomorrow night at the Trop in Tampa Bay. Polka's had one of the runs scored in that home run by Rondon. He reached on a strikeout, but ended up going to first base on a wild pitch. He has struck out twice and flied out. Orioles will split the 2-game set. 2 1-run games and 2 blowouts. They split the 1-run set and they split the blowouts. One delivery, just miss away. Off the glove, second base, and that's the ball game. And Dylan Bundy picks up the complete game win, the 2nd of his career. Given the early lead by his offensive support, he just rocked on, sets a career high in strikeouts with 14 and only 1 walk in the game. There's your final. Orioles win it by a score of 9-3 and split the 4 games here. They wrap up the road trip with 3 in St. Pete against the Rays. Coverage on Masson begins at 6:30. O's Extra, presented by Ford, followed by a